thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 417 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing, recorded from multiple corners of the Dakotas, specifically the South Dakota, the right Dakota, the best Dakota. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Tommy, before we get too far into this episode, I do need to do like a little, I have a wardrobe correction that I need to take care of here. So,
okay.
For anyone watching, this is a good example of why you need to be subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can watch the podcast on YouTube. A lot of people are just listeners, but the watchers are really going to be able to pick up on something here. I don't know. You can maybe hear the audio of what's going on.
Should I describe what's taking place right now?
Yeah, maybe you.
Tanner has a puffy green jacket that he's applying on. He's getting it on right now. It's a very...
I just am not all that comfortable in my house unless I'm wearing an overstuffed down.
Well, you are in
puffy.
A basement. Basements can run a little cold, so...
Having a zipper malfunction is taking longer than I had.
You don't wear jackets often, so you don't know how to run a zipper very well. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Good.
Zipper is up all the way. He is locked and loaded in that bad boy.
Okay, now I am ready to...
You're missing a beanie, though. Your head might get cold.
Shoot. Yeah.
If only you were in a apparel fulfillment center or something.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Luckily, I keep my feathers numbered just for such an occasion. So I just thought that this would be appropriate attire.
Just a regular guy.
I'm not doing anything weird.
Nothing to see
it's
here.
Just a guy. Is a totally normal thing to wear.
Recording the video with a puffy jacket on.
A puffy down winter jacket.
Just a normal thing to wear when you're recording an indoor video.
Completely not weird at all. Okay, and this episode is not brought to you by Puffy Jackets. It's brought to you by Juggernaut AI. Come with me if you want to lift. I'll need your height, weight, age, weak points on your major lifts and your individual differences. And then I will spit out a training program for you that you can continue to use for week after week, and it'll adapt with you as you adapt, and it'll make changes for you as you make changes. Was that pretty good?
I actually thought Arnold was talking the entire time. You have a jacket on. You're using a different voice. I don't even know who I'm podcasting with right now.
I know. So check out Juggernaut AI, but seriously, you put in a lot of info when you get started, and then it's taking inputs from you as far as how your training's going, how you're feeling, how your recovery's going, and all that is it's basically making changes to your programming as it goes. It's phasic structure that goes through. You can do bridge blocks. Find out more about that. You look at the app, but then it goes hypertrophy blocks, strength blocks, and peaking blocks, leading you up to a powerlifting meet or just a testing day, whatever you might be training for. Check them out. If you are interested in getting signed up, make sure to go to the website. It's juggernautai.app. That's where you would sign up, and that's where you can use discount code Massenomics. That'll save you 10% for the lifetime of that membership.
And this episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Capps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com.
Thanks, Texas Power Bars. We got a lot going on this episode. We have a lot of topics to talk about. We're going to have Big Steve Bake on as a guest here in a little bit. We have probably more topics than we can possibly even get to.
What's new, right?
And this banger of an episode 417. Would start off by making sure I touched on the YouTube, but everyone make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. We're putting out bangers on there every single week, multiple YouTube videos every week. What was our most recent one then? We did on Thursday. What would that have been? What was our most recent one?
Was it the boobs lady?
It was the boobs lady.
Okay.
The world's largest boobs.
It's a very diverse subject to the range of topics we have on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So check out that particular video with the woman with the world's largest boobs. You know, a little bit of a derailment from our typical programming, but I think you'll still enjoy it.
I mean,
and then
we're still putting it together, so it's got our little touch of flavor on it.
This week, a new one coming out is Tommy and I's favorite specialty bars. Woo! So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, get subscribed to it so you can check out our new videos there every week.
What's it gonna be?
Quite the production quality, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah, lot of money, whole lot of money being invested in this thing. Tens of thousands, borderline hundreds of thousands of dollars going into the production value here.
Don't even get me started on the time.
Yeah. Just another piece of it. Tanner, I had a question for you. Because you're not like majorly a sweets guy. How do you feel about cheesecake?
That just came up this weekend.
Seriously?
I've had cheesecake. I could probably count the times on one hand in my life that I've had cheesecake.
For real?
Because I mean, you basically said it. Number one, I'm not that big of a sweets guy. And then to add to that, I'm actually not that big of a cheesecake guy. Although I would find it's just fine. Or, I mean, it's actually good. I shouldn't say it's just fine. Cheesecake's probably really good. I just don't really eat sweets. And, you know, I am better off not eating any sweets than I am having just a little bit because, I don't know, it makes me want more. And then I eat too much. And then I actually feel like shit from it. Like, if I had, like, one large piece of cheesecake, I guarantee I'd feel like shit for, like, 4 hours from it.
Yeah, hurts so good.
Yeah. So, like, I guess my wife, the reason it came up is my wife just made, like, some really fancy cheesecake dessert thing. It was like a turtle cheesecake dessert that we took over to a party this weekend, and people were raving about it. And, like, the other guys there were like, how did you even let this make it here? And I'm like, I actually haven't had it. And they're like, what? Like everyone was enraged that I hadn't had it. They're trying to force me to have some.
Publicly shame you.
Yeah, they were trying to force me to have some at the party, and then I was just making me even firmer in my not having any of the cheesecake.
Okay. Well, you answered that question.
But that being said, if there was like salami and cheese spread there, I'd be all over it.
Yeah. You did answer that question about how I expected, though, so...
Yeah. No surprises really.
That's kind of what, that was about the answer. If you were like, I love cheesecake, I crush them, that's what would have really caught me off guard.
Right. Yeah, that would be a weird
Don't
answer.
Don't bring your cheesecake around me.
Yeah.
Then I would have been
It's a bad day to be a cheesecake.
Yeah.
Before I get your answer to that, just remind me of one thing that I don't want to forget is I keep doing this thing to my wife where I keep saying, first of all, I typically don't even have coffee in the mornings. Like, I don't wake up early and have coffee. Yeah. But we've been kind of on this coffee thing, like where my wife makes coffee more frequently, and she has like a nice, the same one Grant has. And Grant and my wife will talk about coffee making stuff, and we have this group thing. But I do this thing now where I always say, don't even talk to me until I've had my morning coffee. And I'll say it at any time of the day, and it never makes sense. And then to add to that, I started... randomly throughout the day, I send her the worst, dumbest, most basic coffee memes. You know, like how all these like
between coffee and wine, there's unlimited of those things.
I'll have a sign up that says like, "Don't even talk to me until I've had my morning coffee." And I just will Google like basic coffee memes and stuff like that, and I just send them all. I send them all day long, and I'm just really enjoying that.
Yep.
And she's like, "Shut up."
You're hitting your middle-aged woman arc of humor now.
Yes. Okay, but cheesecake.
It's good, man.
I know there's a factory where they make them all.
There is a one single factory where they pump those things out. We have some. Leah picked up some at the store because we had some people over this weekend, and then we never ate it, so that meant we had the whole thing to ourselves. And my kids were big fans of cheesecake. This morning they wanted.
Was it regular old cheesecake?
It had a couple actually different flavors in it, but this morning they wanted the cheese thing for breakfast, and they couldn't have the cheese thing for breakfast because can't be having cheesecake for breakfast. But we had some tonight again, and yep, they still love it. I always love it too. So
I think some people are of the opinion you shouldn't muddle up cheesecake with all the different flavoring.
I could understand the purist standpoint of that. Right. I like to just go, if I'm going to do something, actually, I can't even really talk because I like the chocolate chips in it. I like the turtle version. I like the all chocolate one. I don't even mind the regular, even if you want to put some fruit on it. I don't have a problem with that either. So I can't even speak actually.
Like a little strawberry cheesecake or something. Might be
I'll do it all. Cheesecake, can't go wrong with that.
It seems really dense, right?
It's very dense.
It must be pretty calorically dense, I would assume, right?
That's one of the hidden benefits of it, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, there's a little bit of a controversy going on, and it has to do with last week's episode was episode 416 of the Massenomics podcast.
Yes.
And someone pointed out not incorrectly, they pointed out, hey, wasn't that, as we like to celebrate all these numbers and milestones historically at Massenomics.
Because there's a lot of them. We have a lot of numbers and milestones in our history.
The thing wasn't that the 8-year anniversary? And which we did, for the 7-year, we did celebrate it by the math the same way this would be. So what we're saying is 52 times 8
is 416.
And that's what we would have been last week. But if you look, there's quite a bit of conversation about this in our Discord around when we hit the 7-year mark. And this isn't necessarily why we didn't talk about it. I just actually did forget about it. But if you look at episode 1,
it was
published on
19th,
April 19th,
2016.
Right. But episode 2, then, here's the thing. Episode 2 is April 20th.
Yeah.
2016.
Oh, and episode 3 is 4 days later from that.
Right. So I think that is where the...
Yeah, that is confusing because if you look at... Yeah, you're right. If you look at published date... Well, but published date
did
of
3
this...
episodes in a week.
Yeah, but this one... But if you're going by published dates, this won't publish until like April 1st, kind of.
Right.
But still, there's a difference there of almost 3 weeks.
But I think now that I look at it, it's just because in the first week.
Right. Yeah, we weren't on the week cadence. Yes, you're right.
Right. I think that was Tyler's logic, is he was like, because we recorded a few before we published any.
Yeah,
and then we republished.
He wanted it to be so when people looked at it, the feed had a couple items in it, like it wasn't just one.
And they were getting like spammed with it that first week, like, hey, new episode.
Yes, that's right. Because that would back us up 3 weeks, which would put us right here. So
right. So to be fair, someone's comment around last year was, well, if you're celebrating the year mark, you can't do it based on number of episodes. It should be on, has it been 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
And it has not been. It has not been yet.
Yeah, I think that number is
8-year mark.
Right. I think that number is more meaningful. The recording around that April 19th ish is probably,
or at least publishing when we have one that's going to publish around.
Yeah, that feels more significant than just by the numbers of having.
Right.
Yeah, but still, as far as the numbers do go, though, 8 years of podcasting, that is a significant amount.
Yes, 8 years, which we will be at this month of podcasting every single week for 8 years, which is obviously wild. We won't get into depth of it. We just had episode 400 a few months ago, where if you want a history, if you're new to the Massenomics podcast and you want an in-depth history, go back, check out episode 400. I would say if you've never listened to episode 400, that is a great one. It's probably one of my favorite episodes that we've done. Mm-hmm. So do go give episode 400 a listen if you haven't, if you skipped that one or didn't catch it.
It's the ultimate rundown.
Yeah,
of Massenomics.
We actually did get finished with that rundown, as a matter of fact, and it was all in episode number 400.
Should we talk about?
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you go next here.
No,
no. I know. Okay, so I made the trip to Aberdeen this past weekend.
Yeah.
And got there late Wednesday night. you and me cranked out videos and content until about 11 o'clock at night. Basically, just felt like another night.
6 days ago.
Yeah, basically just felt like another day of podcasting. We were just content machines for like 3 hours. And boy, did we catch some gold when we were recording. There's some
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen. I've put one of the. Did you see anything I've put on YouTube yet?
No.
Okay. Well,
No.
I'm saying like where we can see them.
No, yeah,
Okay.
I know I haven't, but I just so I know what it is, and you don't have to tell me. I'm going to look right now. Oh, you've got a couple things up there.
I've
then,
been
yeah.
a busy boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got one thing sitting up there, but there's another thing you haven't seen yet that we were both chuckling at quite a bit. So
I am very excited for that, which we can't talk about it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, well, we could say we do have a real skit
yes.
almost coming, right? Which we haven't done like a video skit, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not much, really. I
Not
guess I
really,
would say
not
we
really
haven't
in this
done-
way where we're kind of acting through. Where we almost have lines even. We've never really
Yes.
done that before, and I think it turned out really good. I actually haven't even edited it yet. I've just watched some of the raw footage, and it had me chuckling pretty good. I
Do you think
people-
it'll come across as bad or funny? You know,
I
is it gonna
hope
be
it
like-
comes across as funny. I think it'll come
Yeah.
across as funny. We're definitely
Okay.
not actors by any means, but I think we might have pulled it off on this one.
Yeah, so I guess just slightly what we're alluding to is you'll catch most of the stuff later in April, and there again be subscribing to our YouTube channel. That's where you'll see most of the stuff, and we've got some exciting, really new stuff coming in April, and it goes around some of this video content. Well, the video content is associated with it at least, and really, I would say it's big. What we have coming in April is big, right? Like
is
that's a
big.
really good word to describe it, isn't it?
Yes. All right.
So we have, if you were to say we have big things coming, that would not be a lie.
No, that's very accurate. This is a very accurate description. What are these guys saying? The
Okay.
Flex Flask ads. I do not remember those.
Oh, it's from the old
you
podcast
wrote
days where
kind of
I wrote up a script, and you, Tyler, and I should actually, I think I probably have a transcript of that.
I don't remember a single word from those,
It's
but I
like,
do now remember you saying like, Tommy,
we'll
here's
see if
your
anyone
line.
remembers the line, but it's like, oh, you mean you can stay hydrated and like,
Yes,
and I
that's
think
right.
I think that's actually, I think I said one of the lines was like, oh, you'd be a horse's ass. You know, sometimes I say that thing where you'd be a horse, and I think that was a Flex Flask line.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, you'd be a horse's ass not to buy one of them.
I'd love to track down that script again. We might have to bust that one
Yeah,
out.
we'd have to revisit an old Flex Flask ad. We could replace it with a silly pint or something. But we do have really big things coming in April,
We do.
and there is good video content to go along with it.
Yes.
So do not miss that.
And we did.
It definitely made me laugh doing it.
Oh yeah, we had lots of laughing took place, but we did manage to film 3 more videos. We're actually talking today. We basically have our YouTube content schedule planned through the end of July, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
with a lot of the videos filmed even already.
A good chunk of them are filmed, and like the good chunk of them we know what they're going to be filmed of. That's just for events that haven't happened yet. So a lot of cool stuff there. And then on this trip, one thing that I thought was pretty funny.
Oh boy, was it a trip.
Oh, yes, it was. I thought it was funny. I was getting ready to leave on Friday morning, making the journey back to eastern southeast South Dakota. Stopped at the gas station, put a little gas in, and right away I hear, "Hey, Tommy," or it was
The
something.
old son of a bitch, they'll let anyone in.
It was
in
something
here to
along
get
those
gas
lines.
these days.
And I could not tell because there's frost on the windows, vehicles pulling in and out of the gas station. And then it got a little closer, and it was Big Zach from the gym. He was yelling at me.
Crew spotting.
Yep. So that was good. And then it wasn't even 30 seconds later, another guy is walking out of the gas station, and he goes, "Hey, you're Tommy, right?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I love Massenomics." And I go, "Oh, who are you?"
Who are you? Yeah.
And it was Grayson's cousin, he said, and I don't know who he.
Okay.
I don't know who
was
he
he
is.
older than Grayson? Or?
I don't know. I'd never seen this
Okay.
guy.
Because I know Grayson has some relatives that order Massenomics stuff.
Yeah,
live
and I
locally
can't remember what he
here.
said his
Yeah.
name was, but he's
Yeah.
Grayson's cousin, and he says he loves Massenomics stuff, and we crack him up. So rave reviews were coming in.
Do you
from
know
the
what
gas
kind
station.
of vehicle he got into?
No, I can't remember that now either, because it was parked on the opposite side of the gas pump as me, so I couldn't really see it. And
I
also
wouldn't know really anyways, but I just, that is
saying
actually the type of it might mean
it's
something
extended
to me,
family pinned down based on
yes.
It's not his cousin that does photos or any of that, if that's who you're thinking
No,
of.
not him. There's one that from school drop-off line. I know they have like one of those. What are those kind of cooler Toyota SUVs that you could get in the TRD package? Probably and it's like
4Runner,
like an OD green color.
Yeah, they do the 4Runner, maybe the Sequoia
Maybe
or something.
I think it might be this. It's a pretty big one.
Okay, probably the Sequoia then, if it's big.
Yeah, I think he has a relative that drives that.
Okay,
one of
this
those.
was definitely not that. So
okay.
This guy I thought was younger than me. Honestly, I thought if I had to picture, I'd say this guy was in his 20s. But
yeah, okay, that might not be the case then either. Then
so the holiday in
just
Aberdeen
good to
was
great
popping.
to get recognized.
Yeah.
It just feels good to get recognized.
That's all I'm in it for, the recognition. I'm all about
anything else in the Aberdeen trip? I mean, it snowed. Did it snow before you came here?
No, I made it up. The weather was fine. It started snowing.
We didn't have snow when you were here.
No, it started snowing the night I was there. Thursday
Okay.
night it started snowing, but then Friday it was.
That's when we got the most
good
snow
enough to get back.
right?
I don't know when you got do you guys have much snow
Yeah,
right
we never
now?
got. No, like we do have snow, but I think it was that night when you were here because like then this weekend it was supposed to be like Snowmageddon where we get like 18 inches and it blows terribly. So on Sunday they called school off for Monday and like Monday morning we had not got like everyone cleaned their driveways off on Sunday.
Oh, and there was still no snow.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, there was snow, like a little bit of snow, but it would like
nothing.
The time when we were supposed to get this really bad one, it was already done before that. And so we got like a few inches of snow, but nothing.
Yeah, I want to say
it was supposed to be like bad.
Right.
So we didn't really get anything.
And when I was there, I think they probably got 4 inches that one night, something like that.
Yeah, that was like the majority of what we got. Then.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I don't know that it really snowed significantly more than that after later.
But besides the snow, it has been really shitty though.
Yes, cold,
very windy, icy,
and also it feels particularly shitty after being really nice for a while.
Oh God, I know.
So did it snow at all in Crew Falls?
We have maybe an inch or two, but it rained a lot and that froze,
yeah.
so it got a little icy. For the most
part, the roads
part,
are
that's
icy
kind
in
of
Aberdeen.
Yeah,
the roads are icy in town.
That's where I can't go on a walk with the dog because the sidewalks are. The roads are fine here, but the sidewalks are so icy that I can't go on walks right now. So kind of cooped up at the moment.
Yeah, like Garage Gym Reviews, cooped up. That reminds me, do you feel like is this jacket puffy enough, or I'm just looking at it, doesn't seem that puffy.
You need something like, can you put a couple really thick sweaters on underneath it to just give it an extra level?
I was picturing it being puffier in my head, and it almost seems like form fitting when I look at it here. Like it doesn't. I want it to be.
It's not puffy
for the
enough.
effect I wanted it.
I think if you
puffy.
unzipped it a little bit and popped the collar up higher towards your headphones, it would.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
There you go.
That makes it look puffier, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. That gives
I was
a little
thinking
more.
being zipped all the way up would be the look of then. It's like, why is he so bundled up? But now this looks a little bit puffier.
Yeah, you seem a little more cozy now.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get cold down here.
No, you are in a basement.
Yeah,
and it is wintertime.
Puffy, always puffy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a can over there?
Oh yeah, I do have a can over here. Good call.
What are you rocking?
I'm going with the green, the lime.
Oh, we're still going through. These were given to us at the Arnold Sports Festival by one of the listeners. And what was this brand?
Lidl.
Yeah. Mine is cran raspberry.
I almost grabbed that one tonight, but I didn't. But I didn't do it.
We're down to our last ones for next week. I actually have one other one here I forgot to give you that are wrapped up from the Arnolds from someone.
Oh.
So we do have one more that I need to give you next time you're.
Have to make the transaction.
What do you think of the lime?
Lime is tasty. I've had better lime, but it is still lime, so it's hard to go wrong with a lime.
Cran raspberry is perfectly good. It's nothing to write home about in particular. I'd give it a 3. Actually, I'm going to go with it.
I'd probably go 3.5 on this lime. For me, lime typically is closer to a 4, but I think this will go 3.5.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We've probably got time for another thing here. What do we? We've last week, great episode. Also, go listen to episode 416 from last week where we talk about Tommy's beginnings into the home gym community.
A lot of engagement, a lot of comments, a lot of feedback, a lot of just a lot of positive reception. So that's refreshing to see that on something like a home gym.
Yeah, so Tommy's probably done. I see we have a topic talking about some of your first lifts. We also got I think we're going to talk a little bit more about the puffy jacket a little bit. We've got to cover some other old news from the last couple of weeks episode also. So what do we want? We got time for something else, but not a ton of time.
Yeah,
so
let's do. Okay, first, before I forget, I just along the lines of gyms. Did you see Efren on Brian Shaw's channel?
I had to watch that. Actually, I haven't quite finished it because I fell asleep to it, but I've got a little bit left. But loved seeing it. Great stuff. Efren obviously has an absolutely insane collection.
It is just like a museum in there. That thing is crazy.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I had to I saw it pop in while I was working on some stuff, and I had to get stuff done, but I couldn't not check it out. So of the, I don't know, is it like almost a 30-minute video? I probably watched 10-ish minutes of it. I had to just skim through quickly, though.
And for anyone that wants more info on Efren, we interviewed him on the podcast here a couple of years ago. It is weird. There's almost nothing I come across in the community anymore where like someone involved we have not interviewed on the podcast before.
That's what's so funny about it. It's just, been there. Know kind of what that's about already. Not majorly. Actually, with this one, I still was surprised though, because it is just so shocking to see how good all of that stuff looks too.
Yeah. Obviously, Brian's still on our hit list, though. We'd love to get him on the podcast at some point in time. But just one more degree of separation, even closer to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that was a really cool video, though.
But that was, his collection is off the chain. It is just ridiculous. I would like someone more informed than me could probably put out some sort of estimate. But I don't even know how you'd begin to estimate the value of what he's got there. I'm sure he has the inventory and he knows, but it'd be hundreds of thousands of dollars without even me thinking for a second. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I would also, that's why Keith just said it, I was just going to say it's probably closer to $1 million worth if I actually sit down and think about it. Because some of those sets of plates, just an individual pair. Well, he has those Zoovers and they're actually priceless. Like there's so few of them
really
that, I don't know. 10,000 might not buy a pair of those.
Wow.
Like a couple of those pairs are those York tall letters. I don't know what those sell for.
Those ones look so cool.
They are so cool, but they're not even there's not a market price for them because they're so rare.
I don't even remember seeing, I'm sure they're probably in his book, but that never crossed my mind as seeing something like that before, to see a plate that has letters on it. That's actually what they call them, is tall letters.
Really, I think you call it like tall lettered Yorks or something
like that.
Those
are
cool.
I don't know those look really cool.
Have it all quite.
Do you have
right,
any idea what year those are from? Are those really old, or?
I think 30s.
Oh, they're that old.
Those are
really?
Those are the first. I think those are like the early York deep dish. 30s, 40s, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, they're really rare.
Okay.
But I think those Zoovers that he has are exceptionally rare. Like there's 5 known pairs or in some of those weights or something.
What ones are the
like
Zoovers again? What do those look like?
They have the guy on them.
Oh, they do. Okay. Kind of like the, what do you call them?
Like the Arnold or the LeMasters.
LeMaster, yeah. Is the LeMaster supposed to be kind of a replica of those?
There's no way. You couldn't say that it's not inspired by that for sure.
All right. Yeah, that's cool.
But also, I bet it probably is $1 million.
Also, what's so cool about his collection, though, is the way it displays. Because you could have this stuff just on. You could definitely display this stuff in ways where it's not going to look good, where it's just going to look like a bunch of iron
put some
discs.
Time into the way that.
Yes, especially those ones where he has those little. I don't even know what the names for this stuff is. It's this in the thumbnail they have here in the Discord.
Yeah, where he's got them stacked.
Where it's that rack where they're stacked, and it's like three plates, and then the whole line down to the collars, and those are just stacked on each other. Those look so cool the way they're on display.
Yeah, it's legit.
That is you got to watch the YouTube video. If you don't know what we're talking about, Efren, just type in Efren Brian Shaw, and it's, even if you're not really into vintage weights, it's hard to look at that and not be impressed because it's just such a collection.
It is quite the collection.
What else? You were just saying something though, or what were we? Should we talk about then we'll save the first gym lifts for after. We'll save the home gym talk for after the guest. Yeah,
later in this episode. Do we talk about let's see.
Or do you want to talk about strength code thing?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
It was really fun. I mean, I think at this point last week, we went in depth talking about home gym equipment, all that. And then we talked a little bit about the different channels that offer up content. And what was so funny is that it just happened is that Coop Garage Gym Reviews had just released a video of the best weight plates, and they totally snubbed Grant from the list, which is hilarious because it wasn't even mentioned. And Grant had also won an award from them a couple of years ago for best plates.
He won an award for best plates ever made. He actually did.
He actually did do that. But then for whatever reason, he didn't even make the cut on this video of plate recommendations, whatever the hell the title of the video was. And Coop Garage Gym Reviews definitely caught hell for it in the comments. You know, there was every Massenomics Strength Co person that you think you know definitely left a comment on that video saying, I recommend Strength Co plates, Strength Co, on and on and on. Well, then this week, what was the actual title? And actually this week, today this happened. I want to know what the title of this video was. It was Garage Gym Reviews came up with a video called I Messed Up. And it was Coop. The thumbnail's Coop holding a Strength Co plate. And there's a few funny things about this video. It's a 6-minute, 20-second video. And it was basically Coop saying, yep, I totally overlooked. I forgot about the Strength Co when I was making this list. I mean, yeah, things can happen. It's an odd overlook, but I guess things can happen, whatever.
Right.
So he offered his apologies. I really enjoyed that they put all of the comments that people were leaving on his video. They were popping up on screen, and it's almost like a who's who of Massenomics people Massenomics Strength Co people when the list pops up. There's very few people on that list that I didn't recognize their YouTube handle or just a name in some way. So that was really funny. They even put some memes that there was a meme featured in the video as well that was made. And maybe of the
puffy coat meme.
Yes, the puffy coat. So maybe of the 6-minute, 20-second video, it felt like an unusually large portion of the video was spent talking about Coop's puffy coat.
At least a third of the whole video was talking about people kind of making fun of him for the puffy coat that he was wearing, which I do love that he acknowledged it and they talked about it. But and he was a good sport about it also.
Well, you gotta be. If you're putting something on YouTube, you gotta be a good sport about it. And also, it's not like he was getting threats or anything. It was just people poking fun about his coat. But his justification was funny though. Wasn't his justification that it's winter time at their warehouse? Was that?
Yeah, something like that.
But I don't get it. Like, is their warehouse not climate controlled? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. Also, he made the comment that he's like, yeah, and some of the people here were really actually pretty bothered by that, the coat comments. And I'm like, I want to hear these conversations that were going on there.
That would have been amazing to sit in these meetings where they're having the discussion of what do we do with this? There's a lot going on here right now.
Posted the meme where he had remade it where in everything he says, his jacket gets a little bit puffier and a little bit puffier. Because that had come from a comment where I said this, but his jacket gets a little bit puffier with each subsequent sentence until it swallows him whole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I loved it.
It was hilarious. So I guess you could say that
I'd say good on him for making that video.
Yes, and actually, what's interesting is the best weight plate video came out 2 weeks ago and has 52,000 views. The I Messed Up video came out 11 hours ago and has 38,000. So Grant got a pretty good advertisement out of this. Actually,
he got a great advertisement.
Maybe better than if he was just in the initial video.
Yeah. No, I mean, yes, better. He got his own dedicated video on a channel with 500,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So it is better ultimately. So.
We'll take our apology video any day now.
No kidding.
And you say apologize for what? We'll say, make an apology video.
What? It's for when you did that tour at our gym, and in the beginning of it, you made fun of Aberdeen in a way that didn't sound like you were laughing with us. It sounded like you were laughing at us.
Yes. And you're from the
Midwest.
We're all from the Midwest. You can't make fun of other people from the Midwest.
Yes. I am going to remove my puffy coat now that we've covered this part of the podcast, though.
The shedding of the coat. The ceremonial.
I don't actually like to wear coats while filming content.
You got to babysit it in your own basement now, though.
That's true. And now I had to get this thing out of my garage, haul it down here, set it to the side, remember to put it on for this little shtick.
Now it might get lost in the fulfillment warehouse with all the other apparel.
It's probably going to end up in somebody's order on accident.
In a
Why
hat
is there
box.
a puffy coat in here?
Who stuffed a coat into this hat box? It doesn't even make
Why
sense.
is it so puffy? Okay, how about a little supporting our supporting members? This is a segment that we do try to do each week on the Massenomics podcast. And what we do is we have this group of people that choose to support the Massenomics podcast financially. You can do that also if you're interested. Go to massenomics.com/join. That's where you can find more about our different options. And we honestly appreciate every single person that chooses to do this. And this is one of those ways we show that appreciation. And a lot of stuff going on this week amongst crew members that I caught. So got a long list this week. Number one is Big Murph was at Lift Evil Unleashed powerlifting meet, Big Frank's powerlifting meet. So first, I guess, Big Frank for putting on Lift Evil Unleashed, supporting member Big Frank. Big Murph was there, and she did a 280 squat, 170 bench, 347 deadlift for a 797 total.
Very nice.
Creeping up on that 800-pound total. Big Sam, the chicken bake man, was also there at Lift Evil Unleashed. He did the strongman competition on Saturday, got first in the novice lightweight men's class, and then did powerlifting on Sunday. So he did both.
Fueled by
the
chicken
twofer.
bakes.
Yeah. So he was not messing around. He did both. Impressive.
Get you somebody who can do both.
Yeah, he can do both. Then Big Keith had a USAPL meet this weekend. He did a 413 squat, 287 bench, 446 deadlift, going 9 for 9 on his way to a 1,144-pound total, which I think is a PR.
Oh, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong right there.
I
And then
thought he said
along
it
with
was.
him, his training partner and fellow supporting member, the man with two first names, Big Chris Mark, did a 413 squat to Ty Keith, a 242 bench, a 473 deadlift for an 1128 total, also going 9 for 9. So they're them New York 9 for 9
what was the two
boys.
totals? 1128 and 11.
Yeah, 1128 versus 1144.
Ooh,
Keith
they got
beat
themselves a
edged
little
him.
competition there.
Keith's probably worried that the student may become the teacher at some point in time here, although getting pretty close on totals.
Yeah, we'll have to watch how that relationship plays out.
Yes. Congrats to Big John Roy for the birth of his son, Big Bo Roy, new addition to Western Northeast South Dakota right here.
Family PR is what they say.
Yep, new family PR for Big J Roy. So congrats to J Roy and Amy. And then an unexpected crew meetup this week. Big Paul Foss and Big Nate, Big Mo Strength, met up in the hospital for, I believe it was an angiogram for Big Nate. So they had a crew meetup picture in Nate's hospital bed.
That picture
And
was
Big
really
Paul and his scrubs.
was caught off guard at first when I saw that one.
Yeah. But I love that they still had the wherewithal to get a picture for Instagram of a crew meetup, which is just, I mean, that's the best part of the whole scenario. Obviously, I talked to Big Nate about it. I think things are going well, and we wish him a good recovery on everything.
Speedy recovery.
Sounds like it was things went the way it was ultimately a good thing that got found out, and things are going well, so that's good.
That is very good. Tanner,
Then
our guest has arrived, so
Okay, I'll better wrap this up quickly then. Big Jordan Stewart, a Canadian man, competed at UKNS Canadian National Championship Strongman, I think, or was that powerlifting? I'm not sure what UKNS. I actually can't remember now. There's so many here. But anyways, he got first place in the under 105 kilogram category. That tells me, I think that was strongman then. That makes sense. That was strongman. Last but not least, Big Jordan Wong was this week's guest on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. Make sure to go give that a listen. Past guest of our podcast, Jordan Wong.
good work, everyone.
Yeah.
Are we ready to go?
Yeah, should we get him on? We'll read some as soon as after Steve gets off, we'll read some ads then.
Yep.
All right, sweet. We're here with Big Steve. We're excited to get you on, Big Steve Bake. And we got to meet you just briefly at the Arnold this year. We didn't get to talk to you too much, but you were there pulling some big weights. What did you end up pulling at the Strength Co booth at the Arnold this year?
I pulled 850 for pretty easy, just one rep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you do that beltless too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you normally deadlift beltless, or is that were you just I mean, are you doing that in your training right now, or what do you?
I kind of just started doing it when I come back from my quad tear back in October. I just started pulling without a belt. The highest I got up to was 885. So
do you feel like it's at the point? I mean, does a belt, would it still help you at this point, or have you just moved on from it?
I'll probably throw it back in at some point. I was just kind of having fun with it, pulling without it. I do sometimes feel like it gets in the way. I'm kind of a bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, you're kind of a bigger guy. How much do you weigh, just for people? Like, what is your height and weight, just for people listening so they understand? I haven't seen you in person.
I'm 6'2", 350 right now.
Yeah. Big Steve is a very big guy. He earned the name Big Steve. So, so how did you tear your quad squatting, or what was it?
I did. Yeah, I tore it squatting October 25th. Yeah.
Was it a heavy set or a freak thing, or what was the scenario?
I was using a cambered bar for the first time, and I had 965 on. Came down, everything felt fine. As soon as I started to push up, I just felt it snap, heard it. So
do you think with the camber bar, were you like pitched different or something? Like, did it get you wonky or off balance or anything like that? Or
I think looking back on it now, I believe it kind of threw me forward just a little bit. But yeah, it just blew. There was nothing I could do about it at that point.
Yeah. So you at the Arnold you pulled 850. You're an Ohio guy. Have you gone to the Arnold many times? A lot of times, or do you check it out most years? Do you avoid it, or what's your take on the Arnold?
When I first started going, I was about 16, and I went every year for probably 10 years. Then I took a break from it for a little while, and then I went the year they reopened after COVID, and it wasn't very good.
No, we were there too. Yeah, it wasn't quite the same.
But I hadn't been until this year. But I thought this year it was really good.
Yeah,
I think
the
so
big
too.
crowds
I
were
mean,
back. It had that crazy feeling again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we talked about calling you Big Steve, but a couple other names we were throwing around. Curious which one you like better. Are you the strongest man that you've never heard of, or are you the world's strongest farmer?
Both.
Yeah.
I like both.
Good choice. I do like both. I kind of like world's strongest farmer, though. That's kind of might be my personal favorite out of the two.
Yeah, I would probably lean towards that one if I had to choose with one. Yeah.
I also would have to think that that's just like factually true. Like, I don't know anyone else in the powerlifting or strongman community that's, at the top of the game that's that's a farmer by occupation, or even like questionably a farmer. Or do you know anyone?
I do not. No,
right.
I do not know anyone.
Right. I'm just trying to think of who fits your title, Tanner, of being questionably a farmer.
Well, I'm just thinking some people. So we live in we say western northeast South Dakota. We live in the northeast corner of South Dakota. It's a big cash grain crop farming here. So it's corn, soybeans. Historically used to be more small grains, but it's kind of, over the last 20 years, it's transitioned away from. There's still people that grow wheat and then like some feed stuff, so there's oats and millet and sunflowers and stuff. But it's really, with the way corn has gone, it's really a corn and soybean heavy rotation mostly around here. And there just are people sometimes that just like there's like people that like hobby farm, I would say. And then I don't know if you hobby farm, if you can be world's strongest farmer or not.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. There's always somebody out there.
Yeah. Okay. So I do want to talk to, well, so you're from Ohio, an important question we always talk about with Ohio, and you're from, I assume you live in kind of a rural community there, or what part of Ohio?
I live in Monroe. We're basically right in between Cincinnati and Dayton.
Okay. So what we always talk to people about, we're from South Dakota, which we always think is Midwest here. You know, if we go a little bit east, it's obviously Midwest and Iowa and Minnesota and stuff, but Ohio seems to be more questionable sometimes. People have different opinions on it, but you as an Ohio guy, is Ohio the Midwest?
I would say no.
So you would say no.
Yes, okay. So
Okay.
what would you classify it as?
Well, where we live, everything's getting developed and built all over the place. So we're kind of city farmers around here now.
Okay.
A lot of development going on. Yeah.
So that's is that a big I suppose that certainly takes away some of the Midwest feel as it starts to get, if there's more building going on all the time.
For sure. I mean, I'm sure there's definitely some parts in Ohio that are, more Midwest than exactly where I'm talking about, where we
Right.
live. So
Right. Some people say Ohio's like the South. Have you ever heard that before?
I have not heard that before. I don't
Okay.
know. I'd probably disagree with that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one, I'd have a hard time agreeing with that one. But is it the
Yeah.
East? Like, is it East Coast? That doesn't seem like you can say it's the East, though, does it?
It's like neither one of them.
Yeah.
We're just kind of here.
It's just Ohio.
As we're talking though, we have kind of a funny South Dakota accent. I do in particular. Sometimes people notice it, but I would say yours is closer to a Southern accent almost than it is than it is like ours.
Really?
I don't know. That's kind of my
Yeah.
assessment of that. We'll let the listeners be the judge of that, but
Right. I've never been told that, but maybe.
I can
Yeah.
see it. I can hear that a little bit, though. I get that.
Right.
But actually, anything outside the Midwest to us is just foreign, so we have no idea. We're
Right.
outside of our little bubble of the Midwest, I should say.
Yeah, you guys are in the middle of nowhere.
yes, we are in the middle of nowhere. That's
Yeah.
right. Some of your crazy feats of strength. We talked about the 850 beltless deadlift, which that's obviously not something you see very often, and conventional, I would say too. Have you ever pulled sumo before? Like, do you ever train sumo?
No,
Yeah.
I'm against sumo
Yeah, anti-sumo deadlift
Yeah.
club.
for sure. Yeah.
But some of your other things, I'm pretty sure I saw or heard something that it's like a 405 bench for 25 reps. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah. 225 for 75, 315 for 45, 405, 25, and 500 for 13.
Damn.
Yeah.
So any of those, were you training for those at all, or was it just like a day you were just like, it's going to be a higher rep day, let's throw on 405 and doing as many reps as possible, or what were those scenarios?
No, it definitely it took some time to build up.
Okay.
I would alternate like a light day for reps, then maybe the next week heavy, then maybe a moderate. So the heavy would be like the 500.
Right.
Yeah. Medium 405, light 225, 315.
So the 225, did you say 75 reps?
75, yeah.
Have you ever seen anyone that's done more than that?
I have, but most of the time they have on like elbow wraps or elbow
Right.
sleeves. All mine have been done with, nothing on my elbows.
Yeah.
What was there one of those that sucked more than the others when you were done?
The 225.
That was
Yeah,
That's just
that
a lot of
sucked.
reps.
That
Yeah.
is a lot of reps.
I think the hardest thing I've ever done in the weight room was when I was weighing 265 or 270. I put that weight on the squat bar and I squatted it 100 straight reps without racking the barbell. That's the hardest thing I've ever done. And I only did it once.
That-
So were
yeah,
you
that
doing
sounds
it in
brutal.
and then you did, I know you said you didn't rack it. You had to be were you trying to do it in like 20 rep chunks, or like what was your how do you go for 100?
I just didn't think. I just went.
Yeah.
If it, it would, it'd start out easy, then it'd get hard.
Yeah.
Then you'd hit a point where it'd get a little bit easier, then it'd get a little bit harder. And I remember hitting, I got to rep 88, and I'm like, there is no way I'm doing this again. I'm getting to 100.
So yeah, you're not gonna make it like 10 reps of the way there and quit.
I'm like, I am not starting all the way over again.
Before you even started, did you have a number in mind? Like, did you think you were going to get to 100, or was it, let's just see where this goes?
So when we started this, the goal was to do our body weight for 100 reps. It took a long time to get there. We kind of did the same thing that I did with bench. Sometimes we'd go heavier, then a lighter day, then a medium, but it wasn't fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone doing a body weight anything for 100 reps. That's quite the challenge.
So there's a challenge for everybody out there now.
Oh, we talked about the bench and doing high rep stuff there, and then the squat there too. But have you ever done any high rep deadlift sets like that?
Yeah, I've pulled 800 for 5. That's not really high reps, but
right.
405, 315. Always no straps. I don't train with straps. I think 315 I did it like 52 times, I believe.
Okay, so you have done stuff like that before.
Oh yeah. Again, not fun. That was all when I was in better shape before I sold my soul to powerlifting.
Have you we talk a lot of times, there's a certain food item that we're big on around here, and it just so happens to be part of your last name. So have you ever had the Costco chicken bake before? Have you ever had a Costco chicken bake?
I have not, but I see that on your Instagram quite a bit. I'm going to have to try it.
Yeah, well, I would like nothing more than for Steve Bake to have a Costco chicken bake and give us your the official bake review on that.
I'll make it happen.
Good.
It's only $3.99 and it's 52 grams of protein, so you almost can't afford not to.
I get 2 of them.
There you go.
Yeah. Do you have I assume, I mean, what's your farthest, how far do you have to go to get to a Costco?
15 minutes.
Oh,
it's just right down the road.
Yeah.
Straight down 75. Yeah.
There you go.
You've got to go and give us your official review of that then.
For sure. I will.
Okay. We know you're a hunting guy. We talked about turkey hunting a little bit and stuff, but we have a little game we play with everyone that we have on. We're from South Dakota, so we do the Mount Rushmore game. So it's just you got to pick you pick your 4 best of something, but for you we want the Mount Rushmore of hunts. So like I assume turkey's probably going to be on there as one of them, but what would be your 4 game animals? If you could only pick 4 for hunting, what 4 would be on your Mount Rushmore?
Turkey hunting would definitely be the first.
So that's George Washington, we suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Deer hunting would be the next one. I enjoy coyote hunting. For another one, I'm going to go with fishing.
Okay. Yeah. Curveball. We'll count that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, what kind of deer is it? Is it whitetail deer? And yeah. Okay.
We've got some big whitetail here in Ohio.
Okay. And then coyote hunting, are you usually calling in coyotes then? Is that how you coyote hunt or?
Yeah. I've got a buddy. He does most of it at night. It's a pretty cool experience. Yeah. But we have a lot of coyotes around here.
Yeah. And then for us, I think I mentioned this to you, but our big it's like our biggest industry actually in the corner of the state that I live in is pheasant hunting. We are kind of what they consider the pheasant hunting capital of the United States. People flock into our little airport every October, November time frame to come pheasant hunting here. So I'm sure. Yeah. You have to come here sometime and do a little pheasant hunting.
I'll have to do that. Yeah, I'd enjoy that.
Yeah.
When I came out to South Dakota turkey hunting, I saw a lot of pheasants. Yeah.
So how long ago were you in South Dakota?
Yeah.
What part?
Or how long? Well, how long ago even?
That was 6 years ago. I was there. Yeah.
And
I don't remember what part it was in. I don't remember.
Did you guys fly in or drive in?
No, we flew.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Good choice.
That's the smarter move.
My wife bought me that hunt for my 30th birthday.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember where I was at though exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know very much about turkey hunting,
I don't
so I don't
either.
know what part of the state someone would be at typically if they were turkey hunting.
I mean, I know you see them every. Like, do wild turkeys? Do you see them walking around in Ohio? Is that a thing there?
Oh yeah, they're
Okay.
all over.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you see wild turkeys here.
Most states have a pretty good abundance of turkeys.
Okay,
Yeah.
is the South Dakota turkey much different than an Ohio turkey though?
Yeah, so there's 4 different species in the United States. There's the Osceolas. They're only in like the real southern part of Florida, like Immokalee, Everglades type of area. And then there's the Easterns, which those are the most common turkeys. That's what we have here in Ohio and, Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana. So in South Dakota, those are the Merriams out there. They have a little bit more of a white tip on their tail. Then there's the Rios. They're in Texas, New Mexico, stuff like that. So
is wild turkey good eating?
Very good.
I mean, does it taste like turkey?
Like,
would I know the difference if you gave me a plate of each, of turkey from the store? And
so you don't really fix them like you would a Thanksgiving turkey. The best part of them is the breast, obviously. So how I do it, I take the breast meat out of them and we just cut them up into like chicken strips or whatever, like chicken strips, and then just fry them. And yeah, they're good.
Does it have a little bit of a gamey taste to it, or is it?
No, not at all.
Okay, interesting.
No, I don't eat the legs. Some people do. I have a guy I give them to. He eats them. He says they're good, but that's a little bit more of a darker meat.
Yeah.
How about the gizzards?
I haven't ate those out of the turkey.
Yeah. So like, what do you measure? Like, if you're like, I bagged a badass turkey. So is it how much it weighs, or is there something with the feather, or do like some have like just a better look to them?
So you definitely measure the weight of the turkey, and then they judge it by the beard and their spurs.
Okay.
A lot of people will say, they'll look at spurs on a turkey and be like, oh, well, this turkey is 2 or 3 years old, but really that has nothing to do with how old a turkey is. A lot of people, they believe that to be true, but it's really not true.
Right. What can you legally hunt a turkey with? So you use like a 12 gauge, I assume, but then like, is there only certain like what?
You can use a 12 gauge, 10 gauge, any type like crossbow, compound bow.
Okay.
Yeah, no rifle. Or
okay, no
like
rifle. I assume you can't use a rifle. So when you use a 12 gauge or whatever, what is the shot that you like? What is it, like a slug basically that you use to shoot a turkey with, or like what's the?
No, so it's all pellets.
Yeah. So do you use like, it's got to be a low shot number then though, right? Because it's not like you're shooting a flying bird that you want a big.
Correct.
Right.
The shot size I use is 5, 6, and 7 blend.
Okay.
Or 7 and 9 blend. Yeah.
And I barely know what I'm talking about, but I know enough for that to make a little bit of sense to me. So what kind of shotgun? What kind of shotgun do you have?
12 gauge Remington 870.
Oh, classic. That's what I've got too.
Wouldn't trade that gun for nothing.
So is it a synthetic stock or a wood stock?
Synthetic.
Oh, black?
Yeah.
Or you probably have one that's camo. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, that's my old faithful is a Remington 870 Express 12 gauge. So
yeah, they're hard to beat.
You could throw it in a pile of dirt for 5 years and pull it out, and it should still shoot.
It'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I've had mine in some rough situations before.
Yeah. Okay, so you are a farmer, and you guys must sell sweet corn. That must be part of what you do.
Yeah, we raise a lot of sweet corn. Sell it in the summer, just right out in front of my parents' house, which is on the farm.
So do you do the old back of the pickup tailgate maneuver when you're selling it there, or is it?
We put it on a wagon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so we've got I think Big Nick is regular listener of the podcast. He's a agronomist, runs a location manager. I think he's in Indiana, but he knew we were having you on, and he had a question. First of all, first question is, what's your favorite sweet corn hybrid? Do you have one that is a favorite of yours?
Yes, it's the kind we raise actually. It's
Or is that a secret?
nah, I'll
It's not
share
a
a little
trace.
bit of information about
Yeah.
it. It's called extra tender. It's a super sweet.
Okay.
It's a bicolor, yellow and white. We used to raise a lot of silver queen and which is white corn, and bodacious. It was all yellow.
Yeah.
But ever since we started raising this bicolor, man, we sell so much of that. We still get the occasional people that want the all yellow or the all white, but it's just not really worth the time of us raising it and selling it. We just don't sell enough of it anymore.
Right.
So,
Well, it's follow-up question. You named some in there, but he said, why the hell do you think so many of the sweet corn varieties have sexy names? Because he goes, there's obsession, temptation, temptress, bodacious, big and tender, crave, passion, utopia.
I don't know. I never really thought about that, but you're right.
We're not describing corn there. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's like part of the beginning of a porno or something.
Hey, we just sell it. What they do with it after that's their business.
Yeah. You need to put that on a sign out front.
Yeah. I always drive some up to Dave Tate up at Elite Fitness. He's only about an hour and a half from me, and he said it's the best stuff he's ever ate.
Yeah.
It's really good. My dad's 80. He's been selling sweet corn since he was a kid there.
That's cool.
Okay. So there's probably some people that every year they're like, you're a stop on their list. You know, they're not happy
Going
until they
anywhere
get
else.
baked sweet corn. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a few people that drive up from Tennessee every year and
Wow.
get it. But we just let our corn speak for itself. We don't advertise a whole lot. Word of mouth is still, we go by that. I think that's the best.
But I suppose it's a little out of season, so you can't bring us any at the Arnold next year or anything.
Nah, won't be able to. Well, we freeze some. I could bring them up.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need. Somehow we got to arrange that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll make that happen.
Keep
for
that
sure.
in mind.
Yeah.
You said going up to Dave's place. I mean, you've probably, I think from what I've seen, you've trained in some kind of cool places with some cool people before. You talked about Dave there. I'm guessing maybe you've trained in the Elite FTS gym, and I thought I saw something before where you're at Donnie Thompson's place.
I did. I went to Donnie Thompson's 2 years ago. Yeah, I loved it down there. I got to get back down there. I talked to him quite a bit. I'm a big fan of Donnie.
Yeah, that's South Carolina, right? He's in South Carolina. Yeah.
Columbia.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I've trained at super training at Mark Bell's gym
Right.
a few years ago.
How was that?
It was really cool. It was a neat experience.
How was Mark? Did you have a good, because we asked because I don't know, he's maybe polarizing. Some people maybe used to like him. Now they think, I don't like the crap he does and all this stuff. But I would kind of guess, like a lot of people, maybe I'm wrong, but in person, maybe he was pretty nice. I don't know. That's, most people are always kind of cool when you meet him in person.
Yeah, he was very nice. His brother Chris was there. They were all very nice. Workers, people in the gym. Stan Efferding was there when we were there.
That's cool.
Everybody was really nice. So
I think maybe, I don't know actually the facts of this, but I think maybe that gym's not open anymore.
That's what I was
But I don't know if
wondering. It
that's
seemed
right.
like just
Yeah.
recently
Really?
something might have changed there.
I think the gym might be closed or something. I don't know.
I think it was only open to the public on weekends.
Okay.
From what I was told, but I think did they move?
Well, that's because I thought he had something about a new gym the other day, like putting equipment in the new space. Yeah, they changed something. I thought I couldn't quite figure it out though.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know, but it was a nice gym. And they were all very nice people.
Yeah, that's. I mean, most people, even if people that have an unfavorable opinion on them about the internet, about them from the internet. Usually, when you see those people in person, they're usually almost always still just nice, and you leave thinking, that guy's actually pretty cool.
There's always haters everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. Your lifting background, it looked like you have several meets that you've done in open powerlifting. We say the strongest guy you'd never heard of. I'm pretty sure you've done a 2,400 pound total in there.
Yeah, that's my best to date. And then I totaled 2335 at 308. So I believe at that time it was the second or third best all-time total at 308.
Yeah. So what do you, I mean, you'd like to compete again, I assume. You know, you're not getting as strong as you are and not wanting to compete at some point, I would guess.
No, I'm definitely going to compete. I've these past 4 years that I haven't competed, it's been rough. You know, I've had 2 surgeries. I went through a spell of vertigo for about 6 or 7 months, and that was terrible.
What is vertigo? Is that like, I just picture you get like dizzy or something, but I don't actually know what it is.
A pain in the rear end.
Okay.
Yeah, dizzy. Some people get sick, you know, vomit from it. I didn't do that, but it was the dizziness. It was terrible, and still trying to train through that. It was awful.
So is that gone now, or like did you get that figured out? Or
yeah, it was
okay.
good. It was good. Never really got it figured out. It just
went away.
You know, I was doing this thing like 2 days before I started getting the symptoms. This guy named John Perillo, I work out at it's actually the hat I got on, Perillo Performance. He had me push up against his tractor just as hard as I could while he was moving it forward slowly, like to get me to drive it backwards. And 2 days after that's when I started getting vertigo. I don't know if that has something to do with just how hard I was pushing.
Yeah, if you just ruptured
or
something,
what.
or yeah.
Right.
My buddy Jimmy Gross that was watching it, he said it was one of the coolest things he's ever seen me do. Unfortunately, we don't have it on video.
So
but,
it was like a tractor pull, only man powered.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this as a training exercise though, or were you actually trying to help him do something?
No, this was just for just for to have a
just
good
to
time.
see what the hell you could do.
Yeah, a training tool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows John Perillo, they'll understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all gone. Then I was actually 3 weeks out from a meet when I tore my quad. So I'm gonna do a push-pull meet July 27th, and then
well, you've benched like 650 pounds before or something, I think, too, right? You know, it's you've
645 is my best in a meet.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's a top 5 all-time bench for a full power. Yeah.
I mean, is 700 the heaviest bench ever that anyone's done full power? So you're like, there can't be that many ahead of you. I think TD Smash has maybe done 700 in full power.
I think he did 710. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But 5th place will probably be as high as I get on that. 4th place is like 680 something. I mean, so I've had my shoulder done. That put a hurting on my bench for a while. It's just now starting to get good again.
Okay.
You know, touching 6 on a weekly basis. So
I would say that's pretty good.
To me, it's never good enough, you know, no matter what I do.
That's the classic, like I mean, everyone at any strength level, that's kind of always the case though, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's no numbers or nothing you ever get to and think,
Yep,
I don't know, maybe you're different. Maybe you are strong enough that you've gotten to some of those numbers, but I don't think rarely does anyone get to something and think, yep, that was it. That was the one I needed.
Maybe
like, we're good now.
Maybe if you're squatting your body rep 100, you know, body weight 100 reps, maybe that's when you can say you're good, but
yeah, that was enough for that. I'm good on that.
But then did you ever think, because I don't know, you said you're 265. Did you ever think, I wonder if I could do 275 for 100?
I thought it probably would have looked cooler with the quarter.
Yeah, right. I know, because then it's just then it's just a better looking weight setup on the bar.
The 265 or 270, I can't remember what it was, but that was plenty for that day.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to do a full meet in November this year, just depending on how my quad. So far, it's coming along good.
Yeah.
I'm only when I was at the Arnold, I was only 17 weeks post surgery. So I'm about
850
now.
Yeah. So
does your
deadlifting?
Does your quad not bother you very much then when you're deadlifting?
Not at all. I don't use a lot of legs like when I deadlift. It's more so like RDL or straight leg deadlift. That's just the way I've always pulled.
Right.
You wouldn't believe all the people that tell me I'm doing it wrong. So
I assume they deadlift like 400 pounds less than you typically. So
Correct.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah. Yes. I would typically not make a habit of telling people that are 80% stronger than me that they're doing it wrong.
Right. So.
When you were deadlifting at the Strength Co booth at the Arnold, was I missed it. We were busy at our booth and I couldn't get over. I don't know, Tommy, were you over there at all?
No, I couldn't make it over either.
Okay.
No.
Was Gino there announcing when you were there then?
He was. That was the first time I've met him or seen him. He was quite a character.
Yeah. Had you ever seen him? I mean, did you have any idea who that was or anything, or is that your first encounter of him?
No, I had seen him up at the Arnold. I believe the year right after COVID. He was calling. He was announcing their deadlifts then. Yeah, that was the first time I'd seen him. So.
Okay. Yeah, that was probably an experience.
Yeah, it was. I'm not used to the attention and people calling my name out and stuff. I'm more just the quiet guy that does his thing and goes away. But he made sure everybody knew who I was and that I was a farmer.
If you want to keep a low profile, you don't want Gino there while you're there.
He's like, I heard something in one of the videos. He's like, the baker, let's see what he's got in the oven. Let's see what he's cooking up.
Something like that.
Trying to get any nickname to stick.
He always does that with everyone's names. Like he thinks little things that he plays off of their names and stuff like that. For someone, if you don't like you're not used to the attention that much, how did that feel then deadlifting there? Because one thing you definitely were getting there is a lot of attention. You got hundreds of people staring at you, someone on the PA screaming and stuff. So did it feel like another day in the gym or did it feel weird?
No, it didn't feel weird. All that kind of goes away when you're lifting. Same way to meet. You just once you get up there on the platform, all that kind of disappears. But no, I had a great time, and the strength company people, they were fantastic. So hopefully they have me back up next year.
I have a feeling you could get in on that again if you're wanting to. I'm guessing that won't be a problem. Okay, we've got this. Tommy, do you think we could do overrated and underrated?
Yep.
All right. We've got this other game that we play with everyone on here. This one's the Mount Rushmore game's pretty easy. This one's also pretty easy. So this one's overrated, underrated. And we've got a special hand-picked set of topics for Steve Bake, the world's strongest farmer. They're just for you. And it's your job to decide if each one's overrated or underrated. The thing you got to remember is you can't ride the line. You can't be wishy-washy in the middle. You got to pick one or the other on each one. So
got it.
Okay, so I don't know the story on this. I assume this name is going to mean something to you, and you just tell me if this doesn't make any sense, and we'll call an audible on this. But I saw a picture, so it's got to be something. So overrated or underrated? Buff Bagwell.
Overrated.
So what? For anyone that's listening, what's the story of Buff Bagwell? I just saw a picture of Buff Bagwell, and I just wondered what the story was.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I think it was on your farm Facebook account. There was someone on there with a picture with them. Is like one of the pictures. So it doesn't
really.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get into my Facebook for like 2 years.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't believe I've ever met him.
Okay.
I don't know. My brother wrestles.
Well, maybe it was would your brother be in pictures on like because what's the farm? It's Oakland
Farms.
Oakland Farms. Yeah. So maybe it was your brother then. Maybe.
But I've met a lot of cool wrestlers, Bret Hart, Hacksaw Duggan, a lot of them guys. Yeah.
So your brother is a wrestler, like a performance wrestler like that, or he's done that in the past, or okay.
Cool.
Okay.
His former tag team partner was AJ Styles, which I believe he's in WWE right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your brother made a significant go at it then.
Yeah, he took it very seriously.
Yeah.
He still wrestles every now and then.
So did he ever get you roped into any of that, or did you always?
No, that's not for me.
Did you never do anything at any of it at all? Never any screwing around in the backyard or anything like that?
I can't say I didn't do that, but nothing for real.
Okay. Yeah. So who did you say Hacksaw?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. He was, I mean, I was a kid then, but he was a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brett the Hitman Hart, he was always my favorite growing up.
Yeah.
It was really awesome to meet him.
That's cool. Did he wear like a pink and black?
Yeah, he had the
singlet.
did.
I had multiple friends when I was growing up that had Brett the Hitman Hart posters in their bedrooms. Yeah.
Yeah. I even had the glasses that he would come out with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did he die young then too? Am I right?
No, he's alive.
Okay, I get confused
Yeah.
with wrestlers at a certain point. I'm like, okay.
His brother died, and then Brett had a stroke. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
That's pretty cool though. Okay, so no Buff Bagwell. I should have asked you. Brett the Hitman Hart would have been a better one then. Wasn't but speaking of Buff Bagwell, so you do kind of know wrestling then, or at least in that era. Was he with Big Papa Pump? Were those two like tag team partners?
I believe so. Yeah.
Big Papa Pump was jacked.
Yeah, I've met him.
Okay, like he had huge arms, didn't he? Or am I misremembering that?
They were huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like I mean, a lot of the wrestlers are big, but he looked like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, he was a big dude and ripped up. Yeah, he was big.
Yeah,
I don't know how big his arms were, but they were big.
Dude, I remember being a kid and being like, how can someone's arms be that big? Like, I didn't even think it was possible. When he would flex, it was crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
I mean, he looked like a stage ready bodybuilder looks like to me, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy. Okay. Overrated or underrated? I think you have this in Ohio. You're a farmer and you're also a hunter. So overrated or underrated CRP? Does anyone ever plant anything to CRP there?
They do. I would say it's overrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you ever, you don't go hunting I mean, you don't hunt turkeys out of CRP, I assume, or anything like that then?
There's only one farm that I hunt that has a CRP field. I mean, they use it, but I believe the animals, they like, they just like the grain fields, corn, soybeans.
Right.
So
you guys also have a lot more woods around there too, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What, so I know we talked about your sweet corn. This isn't a part of the game question, but what else do you guys raise on the farm?
I sell eggs. I got a couple hundred chickens.
Nice.
And I sell eggs too. I started doing that when I was 12. But other than that, nothing really.
Yeah.
That's about all we do. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you, how many chickens, did you say 200 chickens then?
Yeah.
So like a chicken lays like 2 eggs every 3 days or something, or it depends on the kind of chicken or something like that?
Yeah, I mean a good chicken will lay, 1 egg every day or every other day.
Okay.
Yeah. But most of the time they lay every day.
Do you have to have them in somewhere heated then in the winter?
No, I get golden comets. They're known to handle cold weather really well. Now when they're little, I mean, yeah, you got to keep them under a heat lamp.
So do you have like a chicken coop, or are they free range chickens, or I don't even know what the hell free range chicken means? Like they aren't pinned up or something, or?
Yeah, they're just loose.
Okay.
Yeah. I have them in a barn, but then, we let them out.
Okay.
So they could, the free range.
Yeah.
The organic.
So can you sell it as a free range chicken egg?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Hey,
so you can charge twice as much.
Whatever they want me to call it, that's what I'll call it.
That's what it is.
Yep.
All right. We kind of talked about it a little bit. I had this as a topic before we even talked about it earlier, but I still want to ask: overrated or underrated 100 rep sets?
Underrated.
So you utilize them for other things other than just punishing yourself on squat, right? Like you do some different training stuff that might not be normal for what some people consider normal, right?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in training high reps. Get the heavy stuff out of the way, and then it's just all reps from there. Yeah.
So like your say it's I don't know, you're doing triceps, it's skull crushers or tricep pushdowns or whatever the hell it is. Will you commonly do 100 rep sets with that sort of stuff?
No, not with that.
Okay.
Leg extensions, leg curls, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying I don't ever do 100 reps for arms, but
right.
I just take it day by day. I don't really set out a plan. I just go by feel.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling a little banged up and I want to go lighter, I'll go lighter and, do hundreds of reps.
Right.
So, but I
Okay.
definitely believe high reps definitely have their place, even for powerlifting, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is the last one, and this one's worth all the marbles. So, overrated or underrated shooting jakes?
Underrated.
So, could you explain that for a lot of people that might not know what it means if you say you're shooting jakes?
So a jake is just it's a male turkey that hasn't grown its full beard. They usually don't call them toms till they're 2 years old. Jake just has a short beard, and they're just like a teenage turkey, I guess, so to speak. But I've shot plenty of jakes when I first started turkey hunting, and I take my nephew turkey hunting. He shot some jakes. I mean, got to start somewhere. Same thing with lifting. I don't start out benching 600 pounds.
Right.
Started with the bar just like everybody else.
So are they easier to shoot than the more mature turkey then?
No, I don't think shooting any turkey's easy. They're all very smart and very alert. There's no curiosity about them at all.
Okay.
So sometimes they can be a little more dumb than a mature bird, but
Okay.
not easy at all.
Because I don't know. This is from Big Dylan. He's down in Texas, close to the Texas Louisiana border. He's a listener and he's a big hunter. He's a big turkey hunter himself. So he had a whole list of actually just turkey hunting topics that he said I could ask you. But this was the one that really stuck out to me that I was interested in, because he said that maybe this one's a polarizing one. Like, do some people say, oh, you're not supposed to shoot jakes or something? Is that something someone might say, that you shouldn't do that? Or
I would say that there's a lot of factors that would come into play with that. If you have a piece of property where there's a lot of birds, a lot of jakes, it wouldn't hurt to take one.
right.
But then you also got to remember, next year that bird's going to be a tom. So it's just a preference, I mean, I wouldn't say shoot up all the jakes,
Right.
but
all right, I'm going to hit you with one more, because I just looked back up at his list, and he said that shooting jakes one would be good, which I liked. The other one, he said that we should ask you that, so I don't leave this one out. Overrated or underrated tungsten shot?
Underrated.
So that's just instead of steel, or what? I mean,
yeah, I believe it shoots faster. That's some nasty stuff. Yeah.
So is it more expensive for shells, tungsten shot shells?
Very, very expensive. Yeah, I mean, a box of 5 shells, I've seen them, $90.
Whoa!
For 5.
They come in a box
Whoa.
of 5 shells.
Yeah.
Jeez, don't want to be missing with those.
No, you don't mess with those.
Holy crap! You don't want to do target practice with those either. Jesus.
No, you don't.
Wow.
And usually when I sight my shotgun in, I usually sight it in with the bullets I'm going to be using.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely use them. I don't use them all the time, but yeah, they're expensive.
Wow.
Can you notice a difference?
Yeah.
What's
sure.
I don't even really know what shotgun shells, what the going rate is for a box of shells anyways, but I don't know. I suppose even if it's not tungsten shot, what's just a good box of not tungsten shot, something you'd use to actually go hunt turkeys with? What would they cost? I assume it's not cheap either.
I would these are the shells I shoot the most of. They're made by Heavy Shot. They're called Magnum Blend. It's the blend of the 5, 6, and 7 that I mentioned earlier. Box of 5 shells is probably, I don't know, $32, $34, somewhere in there. Killed a lot of turkeys with those.
Okay.
They would be my favorite shell.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of reasonable then. When you're talking about 5 for 90, I'm like, whoa, my God.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And you can shoot those at a lot farther distances too. But to me, I don't want to shoot a turkey that's 60 yards. That's not fun. I like to bring them in close, 15, 20 yards, get the full experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. So are you you use calls then, I suppose, when you're turkey hunting, you're calling them in.
Yeah.
What's so is there an art to just to being a good turkey caller? Like it's not as is it easy just blowing into a turkey call? I mean, I suppose it takes some skill.
It takes a little bit, but you don't have to be a good caller to kill turkeys. There's a saying that a turkey would never win a turkey calling contest, and that's true. Very true.
I like
these guys that win those contests. I mean, they sound amazing.
Better than the actual turkey sound.
Better than the actual turkeys, yeah. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean you're a better turkey hunter.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. We're just adding it up now, and it looks like you passed overrated, underrated. So,
good deal.
Pretty big achievement.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. We follow you on Instagram and stuff. Is if someone wanted to see what you're up to and stuff like that, is that where you would tell people to go? Is follow you on Instagram, or what would you tell them? Get lost.
No. Yeah, either Instagram or get lost. That's all I got to say.
Come to Ohio and buy some sweet corn.
Yeah, there you go. The first few years I had an Instagram, I didn't even do it. I had some other people do it for me. I'm not a big social media guy at all. But there's definitely some perks to having it, though.
Right.
If I didn't have it, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys. So.
Right. You probably wouldn't end up at and lifting at the Strength Co. at the Arnold and some other cool fun stuff like that. So,
nobody knew about me until I had Instagram.
Right.
Which was fine with me. That's still fine. That's just my personality.
Right.
It's fine.
You're not doing it to get internet famous.
No, I like being that dark horse. That just shows up and people are like, "Man, who's that guy?"
Yeah. There is something to be said about that too, though. When you're like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
He just shows up once a year, and that's it.
I would say the first thing I popped up, it wasn't that long ago. It was earlier this year, and it must have been some deadlift video that went really viral or something. Because I feel like for a week there, I kept seeing the same deadlift video, and I don't know what you were pulling. It was 8 something. But I think I saw it in like 20 different places or something over the course of a week, and that was kind of the first I picked up on you, I think.
Yeah, it's hard telling. I don't know. It seems like some videos get a lot and others don't get any. Like my video, me doing 9-10 deadlift, doesn't hardly get any views, but my these videos, me pulling in the 8s beltless, have just blown up.
Right.
So, I just try to do the best I can. At the end of the day, that's all I can do.
Yeah.
That's all anybody can do, really.
Yeah. Right. No, we really appreciate you coming on. I think this is a lot of fun. People will like listening to this. It was cool to see you at the Arnold this year. Hopefully we get to see you next year, and let us know whenever you want to come to South Dakota and do some pheasant hunting.
For sure. And I'll bring you some sweet corn.
Bring us some sweet corn. We got a gym here. We can set you up. We should have enough plates. I think we'll dig enough plates out to fit on the deadlift bar for you.
Yeah. If not, I'll just throw my body weight on there and maybe squat it 100 times.
There we go. Now you're talking. Yeah, squat your body weight 100 times now. That would probably not be very fun either.
No, maybe only about 5 or 6 reps, maybe.
Awesome. All right. Well, no, we do appreciate you coming on. This was fun.
Yeah, thank you very much. I had a good time.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
See ya.
Yeah, thank you. You guys take care.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Cool beans! Cool beans. Cool beans!
Those are sweet, cool beans.
Those are bodacious cool beans.
Yeah, that's what I was
temptress.
I was looking
cool
for
beans.
some exotic word to use there. You got me. Yeah.
Isn't that kind of funny the way that they name all of those? Though?
It is.
Like, what are you trying to sell here?
Yeah.
That was good. That was fun.
Yeah, got a lot of
got to hit a
agricultural,
different
hunting talk. A lot of talk that would be reminiscent to what you would hear at any small town cafe is what just took place there.
Hunting, farming, It's just, the only oddity is the benching 650 pounds and deadlifting
the only
900
part that
pounds.
doesn't fit. Yeah.
Doesn't often come up at the local cafe, but the rest of it would fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Good stuff. Yeah, we got to get Big Steve here. Get him.
Yeah, he'd have a
doing
good
some
time.
Big lifts in the gym. We could do a little bird hunting vlog.
That would just be fun to do. When was the last time you went pheasant hunting?
I have not gone pheasant hunting since let me see what the last time actually was. It was over 10 years ago for sure.
My number is
might be almost close to 15 years ago. I used to I went pheasant hunting probably like 10 years in a row.
Oh,
and then I've gone like 10 to 15 without ever going.
I'm not really even an outdoorsy guy or anything. And I used to look forward a couple times a year to going pheasant hunting because I had an uncle that had some property where, he knew where the birds were at, everything. And you'd show up and I don't know, there'd be 15 of you. And everyone's just having the best time of your life. You're like driving trucks off road. Everyone's kind of being an idiot. And you're hitting the field. Oh, it would be such a fun day. And if it went great, you'd only be out a couple hours and it'd be a nice fall day. Like it'd be so much fun. And I bet I haven't gone pheasant hunting now, and it's probably close to 10 years for me too.
When I was in college, we would get like 5 to 10 us together, a couple vehicle loads, and
go road hunting or.
Well, no, we'd had enough people locally that.
Sorry, that's
we'd go drive.
We might
have to go drive 20 miles.
Yep.
And
you guys are in the prime country there, so
it's... right. Yeah, we go drive 20 miles and go to a cool spot, and then do it, and it's fun, and then everyone starts drinking.
Yep.
By the time it's over, and like that's fun.
Yep, that's when the real parties. Yeah, you're just
pheasant hunting is a social activity.
Oh, it is. It is. It totally is.
It's not. Deer hunting is significantly more secluded and private.
For people that don't hunt, I don't know if like that deer hunting is like you're quiet, in the trees waiting and you could be there for hours. Pheasant hunting's like, no, you just go to this field, you walk down it, and the whole time you're doing it, you're like screaming and yelling at your friends, and it's a very, very social activity, and that's what makes it so fun.
Yes.
Or you could do some road hunting. Road hunting was a little more common. And
that's fun too. And it's fun to shoot a pheasant.
Oh, it is.
You're like, there's a little adrenaline rush to it.
Yep. Because it surprises you a lot of times. You don't exactly know what it is.
Always, it's like, you
damn near step on it.
Time.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. I grew up doing that. Like I have pictures of me when I'm like barely old enough to stand, and I'm holding pheasants in each hand. Like I remember being, well before I was ever even kindergarten and anything, and like my dad teaching me how to wring the neck of a pheasant.
Really, that
being,
young?
Like, scared of the pheasants, until I like, figured it out, and then eventually I was like, I'm not scared. This is actually fun. A little sick that you think about it, because that's the other thing. If you don't know, a lot of times the pheasant won't be instantly dead. Yeah, you have to go grab the pheasant by the neck and you kill it.
Mm-hmm.
You wring the neck. You wring its neck. Mm-hmm. Sounds a little bit graphic if you're not into hunting, but it's probably humane.
Better than letting it suffer for 12 straight hours and slowly die.
Right. There we go. This episode, we talked about them here quite a bit, but just to reiterate, this episode was brought to you by the Strength Co., the very same plates that Big Steve Bake, World's Strongest Farmer, was able to deadlift 850 pounds at the Arnold Sports Festival this year. And hope to see him back pulling even more Strength Co plates next year. You can pull on some Strength Co plates also. Tommy just got himself some Strength Co plates for his home gym. You can get some for your home gym, or if you're a commercial gym owner, a semi-commercial gym owner like me, you can get some Strength Co plates. They're extremely affordable, especially when you factor in
home gym,
what they've
commercial
been able to
gyms,
do.
and semi-commercial gyms.
Yeah, and semi-commercial gyms.
Cater to all audiences.
For the 3 people possibly listening that could apply to. But the way they've figured out shipping prices also, it makes them very affordable for what you're getting. It's a value buy, is what I like to say. They make them in all the sizes, up to 100 pounds, down to 1 1/4. Check them out at thestrength.co.
This episode is also brought to you by Bearfoot Shoes. Most shoes harm your mobility by over-restricting your foot's natural movement. Barefoot shoes are designed with minimal restrictions so your feet can move the way they're supposed to. Move with more strength and confidence in every step. Barefoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin, who attributes proper foot biomechanics as foundational to his success in squatting and deadlifting over 1,000 pounds for reps. He helped create the company to provide a minimalist shoe that can be worn for anything from deadlifts to walking your dog. Go to www.barefoot.store to check out the best minimalist shoes available. And while you're there, make sure to use code Massenomics to save 10% on your next order. That's barefoot.store. Code Massenomics will save you 10%. Thank you, Bearfoot Shoes.
Thanks, Barefoot. Well, we talked about your gym stuff a little more. I think we got to talk about it. You know, we brushed on it. We talked about it in depth last week, but I guess what the follow-up is what have you done?
Yeah,
you know,
so
what
plates
has happened?
My plates
talked
showed
about a lot
up.
of plans.
Yes, my plates showed up on last Thursday. So the next day after recording, they did arrive here, and that's the first time I ever got to unbox Strength Co plates. It's a real thing of beauty. How'd
it feel?
It's a real exciting thing. They're all boxed up individually. It's like opening up, like 12 presents. You just open another box.
Got a lot of cardboard to mess with.
There is a lot of cardboard in my garage over the last couple of weeks here, but the plate, they're great. They're amazing. They're so nice. I mean, they hold up incredibly well, but there's something about a brand new Strength Co plate that's just, it's a special thing. So got those all in there. I went and got my stall mats. Keith was getting me a little freaked out that I was going to have some type of mismatched garbagey mats available, but I went to Tractor Supply, went and got my mats, and they matched 100% exactly the Grant gave me like a 2x2 cutout square when he was throwing stuff at me at the Arnold. It matches exactly that. It's like black, smooth with just a very light white flake line in it,
right.
So the mats are great. Actually, I got to be honest, moving them wasn't too bad. And you know what the difference maker is? When you don't got to move those damn things up and down stairs, makes life significantly easier.
Yeah, you didn't really have to move it very far,
No.
I suppose, if you back up to the garage.
You back up to the, in the yard at the
and
Tractor
you didn't have
Supply.
to move through any small doorways.
No, nothing. Too, all you got to do is back up to Tractor Supply. The guy helps you put it in. No big deal. You get it in there. You back it up to your garage door. You pull it out of there. You get it right to your spot. It's nothing. There's no work. So that is way easier when all you got to do is move it into garage.
Right. Yeah. So that's a good point.
So
and you only had to get a couple.
Yeah, and only a couple. Yep. So I already think I need to get one more. Because the way I have it right now, I have them. I actually just bought two. So the way I have it right now, it's set up so it would be what are my number? 8x6 is the way it's set up right now. I think I'm gonna get one more and turn it sideways, and I can go a little bigger just to have a little more.
Then
room.
what do you be? Yeah, because we talked about the math on the 6. Like you can deadlift off of that.
Yeah, and you can, but
it's just tight.
And Grant I had that perfect 2x2 square from Grant, so all I would need is another 4x6, and then that makes a whole other 4-foot section that would line up perfectly with what I have. So at that point, then I would be at like 10x8, which is a fairly good area to work. I mean, this is totally doable right now. There's nothing wrong with it. It just would give me just a little more area, but so I might get one more. So the first day I got to bench, and first time I got to use the new Rep 5200 bench, and that bench is awesome. It's really good. The bench looks great. I was telling you, we have 2 Elite FTS benches at the gym. We have the wide pad, the regular pad. We have the Ghost combo rack with the bench in it. We have we have the Donnie Thompson fat pad. We got the shorter version of it. We got the Stray Dog bench. We got a lot of benches, and I mean, I'd put this bench right up there with the best of them. It's a really good bench for $500.
Yeah.
When you consider for $500, you're getting a 2-tone color or any color of your picking. You could mix and match the colors however you want. Got the 12-inch wide pad. It's big. For weighing 120 pounds or whatever it weighs, it's one of those things where it's tricky because it feels a lot lighter than what it is, the way it's weighted, So, yeah, love the bench. Have no buyer's remorse there. Feel great about that. That was an awesome buy.
You'd say it's good reason that people like that.
I 100% get it. Yep. After using benches that are dedicated flat benches, using adjustable benches from lots of different price points, just different styles of benches. I mean, for $500, I feel like this thing is an easy recommendation. I'd actually now at this point be curious to try the $400 one and see how different is the cheaper. Is it the 4100? But
it's not that much cheaper even. So we're talking like $100.
I know that is the thing.
Would have saved.
Yeah, like that is the thing. Is it like? is it that different? Does it go down in quality a lot for $100? And then is this just the easy recommendation? Or is it like, well, actually it's $100 cheaper and it's just barely different. So if you're price conscious, I don't know. I would just be interested to see like, what is that jump in quality for $100 with Rep there?
Right.
And also I've never put gym equipment together. It's kind of an interesting thing, the engineering that goes into it, the way that they ship it and get it to you to put it together in a way that's not a total pain in the ass, but also that it can ship somewhat economically and package up nicely.
That's their battle. Yeah, that's the give and take, is trying to be able to ship it economically.
And this did ship in 3 boxes. One is for the frame, one is for the pad, and one is for the ladder portion of it.
Okay.
Or the closed portion of the ladder. So there was
and it shipped for free, right?
And it ships free. Yeah, and it ships and it arrives in a week
built,
too.
It's baked into the cake.
Yeah,
but that still shows that the price is, it's pretty reasonable.
Competitive, very
bucks,
And on top of that, you're picking the color you want too, which is just impressive. So I was impressed with Rep so far. I think that's we don't have, I don't know if we have any Rep stuff in the gym, do we?
We have some of those Rep plates that have the holes in them.
Really?
Yeah,
where are those?
I bought those used when I bought those Rogue deep dish
used
they
came
plates.
with that. Okay.
Yeah, I think I kept a couple pairs of them, and Jake the Snake.
Did he take some?
Took a couple pairs of those when those came up for sale. I think I just kept one pair. Just because I wanted to have them. I just like a variety of plates. So I think.
Is there anything Rep besides that down there? There's not any equipment of Rep down there.
No bars, right? No barbells. I don't think
so.
No racks. No. I'm thinking there was a couple other little things, but those plates are the only thing that stick out to me.
Okay.
I don't think there is anything of any significance, but I was looking, we talked about the dumbbell storage, my dumbbell storage thing.
That's right, yes.
And Carp and a few other people then in the Discord this week too, I can't remember which crew member it was, but they pointed out this Rep possible solution, and that could be a contender, and especially for the price point.
And it would also, it looks good too. Like,
it does look good.
It is an attractive option, and it does seem, the price is right, and also the fact that you can get it in a week or whatever is hard to beat too.
Right. I've actually just been measuring. It's definitely a viable option. Truth be told, I'm waiting until we go to Home Gym Con, because I don't know what all I'm going to be able to get the chance to see in person between all the vendors that are there.
That's smart though. Yeah, this is like one of the few times in your life you'll get to sort of do some in-person browsing and shopping. So
I figured I might as well, any equipment buying, I might as well wait until Home Gym Con at this point, because there's a good chance I'll see it there.
That's a good call. I did see when people were putting that recommendation in there, and I looked at that a little bit. I thought that would look pretty good in that area. It's not the ultra premium option, but it's still a pretty damn good option.
It's a good option. Yeah, it's a good option. But now my thing is, Keith brought it up in their episode even, is the height. I was doing some measuring up on the mirrors of how high this would go, and I'm like, is that too tall?
Well,
compared to where the mirrors are
because of the extra height, though, how many of those racks would you need?
I still need a lot of them. I probably still need 3.
3. But when you're looking, when you go into the gym, that first mirror that's straight ahead of you, to the right, where the really heavy dumbbells are, that mirror's up higher than the other ones, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're correct. And actually, I did some measuring on that as a comparison. And this, like that Rep rack, for example, it goes up 60 inches. The uprights are 60 inches. And the bottom of that mirror on the tall side, the tall mirror, the mirror that's higher up, that starts at like 56 inches.
Oh.
So these uprights would go just a little bit above the bottom of that mirror.
Which to me, that one wouldn't. So how many of those racks could you fit on that wall right there?
That wall
side to the
wall?
Right. Yeah, that side wall.
Oh, only like 1.5.
Oh.
That wouldn't even be half of what I would need still.
Oh, okay.
Like I have to use the main wall.
Okay.
To fit.
I didn't know if maybe you could get them all over there. And then I thought, problem solved.
To fit them all, I need 2 full ones on the main wall and probably 1.5, because they also make a shorter shelf. So I could go 1 plus a half on the. Yeah. I think I could get away with 3 of the full ones, but I have to put 2 full ones on the main.
When you say full, is full in reference to the width or the height?
The width,
and
height. Actually, I have to do 2 of the widest, tallest ones. I need 3 of the widest, tallest ones.
Because I do see though on that front wall straight ahead, that's pretty tall on there. For 60
it's pretty
inches
tall. But the other thing is 60 inches is the top of the uprights, which there's only.
So how tall is the shelf?
There'd be
though?
3 uprights. Well, that's up to you.
Oh, okay. See, I was thinking the top shelf is at 60 inches, and that's really high for a top shelf.
The shelf would be, because most people don't put the shelf on the very top of the, but then there's dumbbells on the shelf, and the dumbbells have some height to them, but it'd be the
lighter,
smallest
smaller
dumbbells on that. So there again, I want to see it in person and just like visualize some of that a little bit more if I have the chance, as long as I have the chance. But it is like a foot taller than I would want it to be.
Yeah.
But it might be the sacrifice, honestly. Like if I could have
to save
really
thousands of dollars.
Right. And also like it's still really nice looking. It's just like, I guess the sacrifice is you can't see the lower, you're like, you can't see like below your belly button in the mirror. And I'm like, does that matter? I mean, I suppose it does matter to some people. I don't care.
Just have to figure something out.
Right. I'm like, this has never been a mere gym to begin with.
Yeah. And I get that. I was thinking in my head that anything below 60 inches, you just don't see because there's literally a shelf in your face.
No, but it's not that much lower. It might be anything below like 55 inches you don't see, so it's still.
Yeah.
It's still pretty tall.
Yeah, I get. That's so many dumbbell racks. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's just so much space there. Okay. Yes. So, anyways, though, initial impressions. Though, this is the first piece of equipment in any way that I've dealt with rep, and I am impressed. I got to give him credit. I am impressed with initial reactions to using. And
how many JD Power and Associates awards would you give?
I mean.
Like a 4, it sounds like.
I was gonna say 4 is the number. I have a hard time giving equipment a rate away number when it's brand new, because God, if your equipment can't be good just right out of the box, then your equipment sucks.
Yeah.
So I've got to give them a 4 right now. And also though, the real test to me is when you put something in Massenomics gym. What does it look like 6 months to a year from now? Because that's when you're really put.
Yeah.
You
won't really have to worry about that because it's just going to get lightly used by one person. And you're the one person that cares the most about it.
Yes,
too,
unless this thing is shitty, it's going to basically look like new a year from now. Still, that's not the problem. So you don't ever get to really do a real durability.
You don't get the
test
real wear test
when you're a home gym owner. No. Massenomics gives it the real test. Is a year from now, how does this thing hold up? Then you know that it's the real deal. But bench. So I got to have a bench day. It was awesome. It worked out. It was one of those days where it was on the weekend. The kids were napping. And I'm like, I'm going into the gym, and that worked great. Like it was perfect. It worked.
Did it work like just like what you would have planned?
Yes,
the home gym
and also
experience?
Also the way it worked is, my wife had to take the boy and leave to go to something. And if I was at the gym, I would have had to have packed up way early to go home to be there while my daughter was taking her nap. But because I'm in the garage, it's all good. I can keep working out.
Could you bring like a monitor out
and
there?
She can keep sleep. It was perfect. Like that was. I told my wife, I'm like, this already saved me this day. Like I would, if this gym wasn't here, we would have been having the conversation where I would either had to say, see ya, you're going to figure out nap time on your own, or I just wouldn't have gone to the gym at that time. And actually the first lift I did in the gym which was the bench day, was I actually went out to the gym after everyone went to bed at 8 o'clock at night. I couldn't tell you the last time I worked out after 6 p.m. It was probably.
Did you feel just excited to go?
I was too excited to not go out, and also bench day is an easier one to. It's. I'd have a struggle getting amped up for squat or deadlift day at 8 o'clock at night, but I was too excited to not go out and bench. So that was the day I got to break in the bench, 8 o'clock at night, and it felt good. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. But the next day was the squat day, and man, it is cold out there in the gym right now. It was. I don't have a thermometer out there yet, but the temperature right now is 10 degrees or whatever.
Cold here right now. Yeah, it's
and
cold right now.
It's been a long time since. So you put the sweats on, no big deal.
Yeah,
you warm up pretty fast. That's not really the problem. It's the barbell is so damn cold. And it's been a long time since I've worked out where my body is sweating, but my hands and my feet are freezing.
Are frozen.
And you do transfer a decent amount of heat to the barbell, so that gets better, but it still is, it's chilly out there. It really needs to warm. I mean, it's supposed to be back up in the 50s or 60s next week.
That will not take, that's a very short term.
Yeah, it should be short lived, but these that second day was annoying how that actually, the temperature changed on me there.
Right. So you got to bench in there. And what? Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. How have you felt like about your accessory lifts then? So that would be the one thing maybe you have less access of. Do you feel like you have enough stuff you can do that you're fine still?
I really need to get a set of like 20, and this has been talked about a lot in the Discord. I need to get a set of like 20-pound dumbbells. That's my main go-to. I mean, I can go heavier on accessories, but also for dumbbells. But the type of things I'm usually doing with dumbbells are curls or some type of like lateral raise or front raise, something like that.
Right.
And I can make those really hard if I just slow it down and do a full range of motion. Like I can go way heavier.
Oh, for sure.
I can go way heavier, but if
right.
I can make those suck really bad if I want to. And so that's typically the weight I would use in the gym for those. So that's the biggest thing I'm missing right now, I would say, is some 20-pound dumbbells would do me well. And I really I just got to order a dip attachment like that. That would be of assistance. And the biggest one that I see the gap being in is on Juggernaut is when you start looking at hamstring training and you're looking at things like that you potentially get in the gym, a GHR or a leg curl, things like that.
Or
those are
reverse hyper.
Those are all things that are a lot harder to fake in the gym.
Yeah.
So that's the
there
one I got
ways to do like Nordic curls and stuff.
And I know that's a thing.
Not,
so that's
not quite the same, maybe.
It's
but
not. It's not quite the same. Yeah. So there's things there. I just got to determine what is the best option, and figure that one out. But that's the other ones can be solved for relatively little money. So and that is an actual answer. Like it's going to put me right back to being at the gym. But the biggest one would be how do I hit the hamstrings in a way that. Because the other gyms have always had a machine.
You can do RDLs is something you can obviously do.
I know.
Stiff-legged
but a lot of times,
deadlifts,
like when I'm trying to do that, I've done deadlift already.
Right.
And
I know. That's what I know.
It's
just,
hard to follow up deadlift with
RDLs.
RDLs. Yeah, it's like you're mimicking that movement. And you're already pretty burnt out on it.
Yeah. And you can do good mornings. Would be another thing.
But same thing. I'm always just super cautious after doing deadlifts to just do more stuff like that.
It's nice to then be able to do like a back raise
I've always had
or a GHR.
Yep, all the gyms I've gone to have either had a GHR or some type of leg curl machine, so I can always count on that. And now or a reverse hyper even. So and not having any of those, that is a little bit of a deficiency.
I could see, I've never really struck me. I get ads for them all the time. They're almost like these, I don't know, posterior chain machines that are made for a home gym where they're not that big and they almost like move into like 2 or 3 different configurations so that you can. I'll just next time I get the ad for it, I'll just screenshot it. I swear, if I scrolled down Facebook, I'd see it in the next 5 seconds.
It's funny how much my Facebook ads or my Instagram ads have changed in the last week. Holy,
it knows what you're doing.
It's like a total shift. I used to never get ads for anything, and now I'm getting ads from every fitness equipment company on the planet. Most of them I've never even heard of.
I swear to God, if I scroll this for just a couple seconds, I'm like, how can it not show up? Because I swear I see it every day when I look. But actually, here is one. This is not the usual one. This was, what is this? The isolator. The isolator from Bulletproof Fitness Equipment. Yeah. I'm not going to get into that, but I will screenshot the next one. But what my point is, if there was a relatively compact machine that gave you a couple different variations of how you could do those, that I could see that being like a possible thing that you want.
That would be a potential option, because that really is the hardest one to achieve right now. Other than that, I can work around everything else pretty good. Or actually, not even some days I don't even need to change up my workout at all. Like it's just. I got everything I'm doing already.
What about, would you ever have a use for, we're kind of doing last week's episode over again as I think about more things, but what about, could you ever see a use for like the Strength Co Easy Curl Bar? Like, could you do more, could you?
Maybe. I've never been a huge, I've honestly always preferred dumbbell curls over barbell curls. Yeah. I don't know.
With an Easy Curl Bar, you could do curls and you could do lying, you could do tricep,
skull crushers or something. Yeah.
And, there's a couple more,
Although
the arm accessory movements are not the trickiest part.
No, arm accessories are fairly easy to hit there, so that's not that big of a deal. But I've always preferred, because anytime you start doing curls with a bar, I feel like it's way easier to just start cheating those. Something about dumbbell curls, to me, they're really hard to cheat, and I feel it in my bicep way more.
Well, and I do think different people feel different ones better and worse.
Definitely. Like that is totally a thing. Train around enough guys at the gym and you see there's certain guys that they always do these accessories because they think they feel the best. And I always do other ones because I think they feel the best. So there is a certain amount of preference there.
Any other good takeaways so far on the first week or so?
The biggest one has just been the weather has sucked. Like it's, when we're below freezing, it's like, actually the time I was in the gym, my wife had to leave. They took off. I was finishing up my last set on bench, and while I'm doing my sets, I can see my breath shooting into the air.
Yeah. The hot dog would do it though.
It would. And that is something I'm seriously considering, but like in my head, I didn't have to think about that for at least 5 months.
About that, right?
Yeah, I didn't think I had to thought about that for a long time. Well, all of a sudden we're just getting like this late spring cold snap in here. So it'll be.
But you have already started to be able to realize the advantages of it, though. It sounds like
yes, absolutely.
It's already like yes, this home gym is paying dividends already.
I feel like I need to get some type of table reverse hyper type item, to set things on when I'm in the gym. I got to set the stereo on something. I got to have my phone to set on something. Maybe I got to have a table of some kind. So
is the stereo working out all right then?
I actually haven't even hooked it up yet because I don't know where to position it.
Okay.
So as of right now, I've just been bringing a speaker out with me to listen to music. But I want the stereo set up. I just don't know the proper positioning of it all yet.
Yeah.
I kind of like that rollable table we got at the Massenomics gym. Like that's kind of nice, but that's also sort of overkill. Our filming table we use for stuff.
Oh,
that's a nice table. It's that sort of nice. Overkill though.
Maybe if there was one like a third the size.
I know almost, that was too big. And they make it in a lot of different lengths. I was looking at it.
Right. That one is nice too because you can move it up and down.
I know.
And it's pretty sturdy.
Exactly. Yes, you can wheel it wherever you need to, get it out of the way if it needs to move somewhere.
People use that all the time because that is what that is. You don't
realize that your gym needs a spot.
I set my shit there.
Yes, your gym needs a spot just to kind of set things.
We bought that for filming, but that actually gets used in the gym a lot.
It does, and it's a nice table for it too.
And everyone's got their log books and all that stuff, and everyone throws their jackets and cups and Yeah, we actually at Massenomics gym is big enough. We have to have about 4 of those stations.
You do. Gyms need those though. They do. It is a thing.
Right.
And if you don't have that, people will go to the reverse hyper. That's how it works.
Yes, it is. Oh. This episode is brought to you by Build Fast Formula. Build Fast Formula, our friends right out of Watertown, South Dakota, just kind of in between Tommy and I. Check them out over at Build Fast. It's buildfastformula.com. Check out their supplements they've got. You can save an amazing 10% off of every order, any order, everything you purchase from their site with discount code Massenomics. It saves you that 10%. And then if you get anything in a subscription where you're going to repeatedly get it, like their protein powder, if you're like, I know I'm going to want this protein, I'm going to continue to use it every month. You sign up for a subscription, you save another 10%. 20% total makes this stuff pretty affordable. My favorite is the protein powder, the 80/20. The Massenomics favorite, I think, is the Vasoblitz. Might have some of that right behind me. I do, as a matter of fact, have some Vasoblitz here. The Full Blitz would be the caffeinated pre-workout version, and then the drink hack. I actually did a little bit of drinking this weekend and was meant to take my drink hack to sandwich my drinking with the drink hack and see if it could help me out a little bit, and I forgot. So I would recommend buying the drink hack, but then actually remembering to use it. That would be the most helpful tip when it comes to the drink hack from BuildFastFormula.com.
And today's episode is also brought to you by Swisslink. Since 1995, Swisslink has been importing military-issue goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Swisslink.com carries all you can imagine, from British tactical vests to Italian Navy deck shoes and everything in between. Swisslink is also home to the authentic Wavian fuel cans. They're from the same factory that's been pumping out jerry cans for the NATO forces since the 1940s. Big man at Swisslink, Big Mo, has also decided that a high-quality water can was needed as well, so Swisslink developed a stainless steel water can to match. It fits all your wavy and jerry can holders and is made from food-grade 304 stainless steel, so you can trust it to carry drinking water. The cap is knurled for a good grip, and the spout screws into the bottom of the cap for convenient storage. A vent at the top ensures good flow, and the can has the same three-handle configuration as its fuel counterpart. This is another addition to Swisslink's exceptional collection and their dedication to quality customer service. You can enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase at swisslink.com by entering code MASS at checkout. That's MASS at swisslink.com. Will save you 15%. Thank you, Swisslink.
Quick sports notes. I don't know if you've watched it at all, but my hot take is, maybe this isn't even that hot a take this year, but I never thought I would say this, to be perfectly honest, and believe it. But the women's March Madness tournament bracket is the more must-see TV right now than the men's.
Is it?
On women's college basketball, yes. Caitlin Clark is must-see TV right now. The hype is worth it. Also, South Carolina and LSU are both very good teams,
aren't they?
Yeah, and they're both have captivating players along with USC. So as long as some of these as long as Caitlin Clark and either USC or LSU can all keep advancing here, there'll be something really interesting coming in the women's college basketball, which I honestly would never have believed that I could think that that's true, and I do believe that that's true. I watched Caitlin Clark last night. And
UConn's really good too, aren't they?
And yeah, I think they're.
What's that one girl, Paige, on there? Isn't she?
That might be right, or maybe they are better. I can't remember. I know they made it. They made it like 30 straight years of the Sweet 16, making it now, which is crazy.
UConn.
I mean, UConn girls are always good.
Yeah, they're a 3 seed.
Yeah, they just beat Syracuse. I watched that.
Paige Buchers. I don't know how you say it. I think she's from Minnesota, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, she also doesn't she have borderline Caitlin Clark-ish numbers?
She might. See, and I guess that's the thing.
God,
you start to learn better about the.
Okay. So just actually on this topic. All right, I'm just doing a little social profile looking here because some of these girls, it is crazy. Okay, Caitlin Clark, Instagram followers, Tanner, how many?
1 million.
1.1 million.
Yeah.
She's got a
She
lot
is on
of
Gatorade
deals.
ads and
she's plastered all over High V when you're in High V. God.
Like she has got to be raking. Like I wonder, like her NIL deals might be better than any man in college basketball. I don't know if that's true or not, but like
it's got to be up there.
She's more valuable than any of them right now.
Okay. All right. So we're going to keep playing this game though. All right. So that's Caitlin Clark, 1.1 million, just because I'm going with like the very few players that I know their names of.
Yeah.
This Paige, I said their another name. I don't even know how you say your last name. Yeah, this Paige at UConn. What's her Instagram people, Tanner? I got it here. You got to guess. What's her follower count?
150,000.
1.1 million as well.
Oh.
So
what's her name?
Paige, Bueckers.
Okay. Yeah, I don't I mean I did just watch that game and everything, but I can't believe she has that many.
Yep. Okay. Now next one. Angel Reese. How many followers does she have?
She's got to have a lot too, right?
I don't know.
She's got to have over 1 million. I don't know. She's got to have I'd say she's got 1 million too, I guess.
2.7 million.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that is a ton.
But what your face is on national. I mean, you are one of the faces of that entire league, and you're on TV borderline every other night now. So
the only other one what's from USC? It's like Juju Watkins from USC.
There you go. And I haven't seen them play. I've just caught a few highlights.
Her would be an interesting one to look up, and then the center from South Carolina.
Okay, Juju Watkins. Here we go. God, she's 18. Okay, so yeah, she's at 500,000.
And then how about Camila Cardoso?
She is
Would
at,
be
and
the
she's
other
at,
one.
she's on South Carolina. Is that?
Yep.
She is at,
So-
God, 6'7". Damn.
Yeah.
136,000. So she's a lot lower
Okay.
on that list, but
Yeah. I kind of had maybe guessed that was the case. Okay.
wow.
But yeah, that's my hot take is the women's basketball. More
Well,
exciting, more
so what's
interesting.
going for though is they have these big personalities in it.
Yeah,
and not to say
exactly.
that men don't have big personalities, but I don't know, maybe this has been missing from women's basketball for a little bit.
Well, and part of it, I actually don't know this. I haven't heard anyone say it, but I just wonder, is the pay of the WNBA so unenticing that unlike the NBA that
Right, where you want to
get a
get out.
Caitlin Clark,
Mhm.
yeah, you can actually get a Caitlin Clark that stays and breaks all the career records because people will actually stay in women's college basketball for 4 or 5 seasons.
Because the
online.
eyes will stay on you, and as soon as you leave, the eyes are going to leave too. So
Right.
Yeah.
Like she might as well,
that is, I'm sure
Um,
someone had to have looked into that. I mean, that is a plausible theory.
Right. The other sports thing, this could be a better conversation off of the podcast, but I just want to bring it up before I forget, is my favorite basketball team, my local hometown basketball team. The transfer portal thing is really becoming insane. It's ripping apart the team.
Oh, is it
I
really?
mean, it's already done that to an extent, and this year there was 2 standouts on the team. They've both entered the transfer portal.
Oh, so they're gone.
They're going to both be gone. The two
best
they
players?
have. This year was like one of their worst years that they've ever had that
Mhm.
I ever remember. Like they didn't have a winning record, and that never happens. And now one A-tier player in this division, like a top-tier player, he's gone. He entered the portal, and then our second best player, who's like an A or B-tier player, also he's gone.
Mm.
And now they announced someone today. I'm like, you were barely a starter
You're entering the
like,
portal
on a poor team,
Yeah.
and you're leaving. And now I heard rumors about the coach
Oof.
taking interviews other places. And with this, and I say this to say the transfer portal thing is screwing over at least the legacy way that this team
Mhm.
handled business.
Yes.
And I don't know what's even going to happen because with the current roster, they won't even be able to play with anyone in
Yeah.
they cannot play with the people that are gone. So they have to start getting more transfers in. Like that is the only way to be able to stay competitive on this is to have your transfers in match your transfers
Boy.
out, obviously. But I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
'Cause historically, they've recruited and developed players, and
Yeah.
the players become good over years.
Yeah, and it's Aberdeen's still a small town thing. Like people don't realize it probably, but it's very much the loyalty thing of once you're in the program, like you're in the
Right.
program
We
for
get-
life. Like that is
We
always,
have like a 50-year history of program players
Mhm.
that go on to be like awesome players of the program, and like everyone keeps track of where people are at on the all-time scoring list and all these all-time records. And it sounds silly for all the outsiders that would be listening to this, but it is important locally to
Well,
it's
and a lot of people don't get this.
well-attended.
Aberdeen. So we're talking about Northern State University in Aberdeen.
Right.
They have set the D2 because it's D2. So they've set the
Yeah.
D2 basketball attendance record for
In women's and men's, like every single year.
basically like it's not uncommon for several thousand people to go watch
To be
these
at
games.
every game, like
Yeah.
on Friday night and Saturday night. And then if it's a special event, they'll
like
there'll be
packed.
5,000 people
yeah,
there,
like there'll be
you know.
5,000 people watching a basketball game because that's
Right.
the thing to do in the wintertime.
Right.
There's nothing like they,
Right.
it's weird.
has the timing going for it.
Yes, you can look at, you'll look at a lot of teams they play are in Sioux Falls here, and like those same teams in Sioux Falls are playing in like a smaller high school gym. Like,
Yeah, it looks like a
it's
high
a
school-
college,
yeah,
but
high
it's
school
like
gym.
it's like
Right.
picture
No,
your gym
right.
in high
It
school.
looks like a
And
yeah.
they're like playing in a small version of that. Whereas in Aberdeen, they're playing in a 5,000 foot or 5,000 seat arena.
Right.
And
that gets pretty full at times.
yeah, I mean, there's times where they can borderline sell it out, and
Right.
so it is a huge point of pride and attention in the community is to go to this. So
Right.
I don't know, I'll be the first to admit, I don't know how this stuff works, but I don't know what is the answer there besides you just have a really awesome coach that's the best at recruiting.
That's
what it comes
well,
down
I think
to, isn't
it
it?
just shows that recruiting is like, I mean, it's always been very important. I don't want to.
But it's not just recruiting new guys; it's also recruiting the portal guys too.
We need to recruit portal guys. Like, we need people that are trying to make an advance up, and this is the advancement. We're getting all these people now that are trying to advance out of this level. We need to be recruiting people in that this is their move up, like that they're good enough
and
to
also,
make this move up. And
also for some perspective here, the program they were national runner-ups.
a couple times
in the last
history.
4 or 5 years. So
right.
the program has had a lot of success recently, and now that's changing.
But as soon as the transfer portal thing became a thing, it changed the program overnight, and it hasn't like quite recovered. Actually, we have had, the year before that, like we went to the national championship and lost, I think, and then like there was a really, really good year. In there, and then that awesome year there was like 4 awesome starters. They all left.
Yeah, they all bailed out.
Yeah,
but the coach left too then, right?
Yes.
So this coach has just had a harder time finding success.
Yes. I think we need a young coach that can we need a recruiter coach. I think
you need someone that can just shake things up and it's a different ball game.
Yeah, that's my sports talk.
That's good. I like it.
And do we need to wrap it up, or do we want to touch on street dances at all first?
I guess maybe we can end on that because we sort of ended on it last time. So it was in the Discord. People had mentioned we've used the word street dance multiple times. This was in last week's episode, and people had no idea what we were talking about. What is this street dance? And that was funny to me because I just assume people know what that word means. But then when I thought about it, I thought
it was a universally accepted known.
I did too. So there's definitely people listening right now and will say, I went to a street dance, or I saw him at the street dance, or I listened to this band at the street dance. People might be saying, what the hell are you talking about? And once I thought about it a little more, it kind of makes sense. I guess huge cities don't have a street dance.
Yeah, if you never lived anywhere rural at all, like if you grew up in a big city and always like were in a city, it wouldn't exist, I guess, right?
Nah, but yeah, because in big cities you get outdoor concerts and outdoor music festivals. If you grew up in
Sioux Falls and always lived in Sioux Falls, would you even know what a street dance is?
You probably would but I don't know, maybe. There's enough little tiny towns within. Right. There's 10 towns within 10 miles of here, so there's
that would have a street.
I would be shocked if they all didn't have one.
Right, so every summer.
Yeah, so that's why I think you probably would. But then so our resident street dance guitar player, Mr. Chris Hornick, he said that it's very regional.
I called in the expert.
Yeah, didn't he say it's a very regional? He said it North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and what did he say? Part of Wyoming.
Yeah, something like that.
Part of Colorado. Yeah. Like those were the only states that like that term means something. And
some compared it to block party.
Yeah, and
block party to me means a little bit something a little bit different than a street dance.
I think of a block party, and again, I've never been to a formal block party. Like that's not a thing around here. But I think of a block party as more of a thing of a neighborhood getting together.
We've kind of had that in the neighborhood that I live in now. We've had 1 or 2 of those where like some of the people will use the word block party, and that's kind of what it's like. It can be big and a lot of people, but it's not a street dance.
Yeah, and
a street dance is what shut down the whole town.
Yeah, typically for these smaller towns, a street dance usually is Main Street. They'll just shut down Main Street. They'll set up a stage on the street. The roads and all the roads leading into that will be closed off. A lot of times the stage is a
trailer.
Yeah, a lot of times the stage is a flatbed trailer of some kind.
Right,
and that's what the band's up on. And it typically coincides with every small town has their festival days of some kind where everything has some name for it.
Right.
What did
Corn Days?
Did yours have anything? What was their name for?
Well, in Brentford, it was really more. It was just like the firemen's event. There wasn't a name like that.
Okay.
But I know most of them do have that.
Yeah, like where I grew up, it was Farley Fest because there was Lake Farley, but that was also a little different. They actually had a concert. I had some friends,
or like in Ipswich, it's Trail Days. That's a little bit different.
They have trail, because they take it to like after it graduates past the street dance part, it gets bigger into like a concert, and some of them do that too. Right. But like even downtown Aberdeen, though, they do like a summer concert series where they shut down Main Street. One Thursday a month for like 4 months, and they have an outdoor concert. Like usually the concert's free. You just show up, and then you drink beer, and enjoy
Usually
the summer.
at street dances, there's a heavy amount of underage drinking too.
Yeah, with all of this, drinking everything is based around drinking. It's very
100%.
That's the point of it, is you get
It's
to go
all
drink
drinking.
outside.
Yeah.
Like most things are in the Midwest, it revolves around drinking outside because the weather's finally nice. So you got to take advantage of it any way you can.
Yes.
That usually involves just getting really
Drinking
drunk
outside.
outside.
Regardless of your age, too.
Yeah. And so that's the street dance. Yeah, that's really all there is to it.
That was news to me, though. That it wasn't like someone's like, "What's I've never heard that." I'm like, "Really? That's one of those ones I wouldn't have seen coming."
And it's always a band. Like, it's never a thing where someone's just playing songs. There's always a band. Usually cover band, covering the 80s, 90s, 2000, all of those.
Right.
Depending on how old they are, determines
Maybe
how
some
far
butt
back they go.
rock.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely some butt rock covers. No doubt about that. You're going to hear a fair amount of butt rock covers. You're going to hear a lot of 80s covers as well.
Just a small town girl.
Yeah, you're going to hear that stuff. Yes. All that type of stuff.
And then
Probably some Jesse's Girl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jesse's Girl. What? Actually, this is a Massenomics throwback when you and me, Professor Shans, and wasn't
Trick.
it Tyler?
Cheap Trick is
Cheap
the answer.
Cheap Trick.
Because that year, I
you
feel like to
you
think
do
I'm the
know.
only person in America that accidentally saw Cheap Trick twice in a year. Because first we went to Sioux City, and outside of the Hard Rock Casino, they
It
had
was the 4 original Massenomics members.
Yes, it was after we interviewed
Must have
Jonah
been a big
Leo.
Massenomics meeting.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, we interviewed Jonah, and then we were like, oh, well, naturally, once we're done in Sioux Falls, we drive down to Sioux City. So we went down to stay at Shanz's. But yeah, the Hard Rock Casino outside had Cheap Trick playing. So I saw him there. And then later that winter, I went to the outdoor hockey game. It was the Wild playing. Who the hell's the Chicago team? I don't even follow hockey.
Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks. Yeah, the Wild were playing the Blackhawks. And after the first period entertainment was Cheap Trick. I'm like, really? Cheap Trick again? I got to see him twice in 1 year. But yeah, you're going to hear some Cheap Trick. I want you to want me. You're going to get that for sure.
I feel like when we walked up to Cheap Trick, they were playing like Surrender.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think they were.
Don't you? Like I just pictured them playing that too. Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Weren't we making? We were making a lot of Cheap Trick jokes at the time. I thought.
I don't know. We might have been. I don't really remember that well.
Okay.
There was a lot of people there, and I don't know. We drank a lot, hopping between bars. We went to one bar, this little bar. They had karaoke going on in it. I remember
like
that.
a good Johnny Cash karaoke singer.
There probably was. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So that was Sioux City.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the Jonah Leo first podcast interview.
that was the Jonah Leo podcast weekend.
Okay, and that's Street Dances, and that is episode 417 of the Massenomics podcast.
And that is 8 years of podcasting, but not really 8 years of podcasting.
Not really. In a couple weeks, it'll technically be 8 years. Supposedly, allegedly, hypothetically. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We need to see that number grow for some reason. So do that. Subscribe on YouTube. Get us over that 5,000 sub mark. We're very close.
Tanner, I hate to interrupt your sales pitch, but this Paige Buchers, her Instagram feed, she has got to be just rolling in the dough from she has sponsorships with Go Army, paid partnership with Bose, paid partnership with CVS, paid partnership with Taco Bell. Man, she is raking in the deals there. Paid partnership with Dunkin' Donuts. Holy, just every other post is a paid partnership. She's got to be making some moolah there.
Is there any way to Google how much she gets paid from NIL
Probably.
deals? The fourth-year UConn player is one of the college game's most marketable players. Per on3.com, she has an NIL valuation of $650,000, though that isn't an accurate reflection of how much she has made in the space. I bet
she's got to have made millions between her Instagram and all that other shit. Yeah, it's impressive
for sure. That's awesome, though. That's good.
Yeah, get that moolah. All right, I cut off you at the end.
No,
go ahead.
That was it. Buy a drink spotter. The huge. Buy any of our apparel from Massenomics.com. We'll see y'all at Home Gym Con pretty soon. See you on our YouTube channel. See you on episode 418 of the Massenomics podcast. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.